Hello everybody and welcome. We're D&D Boyband, a group of friends that all like to play D&D Pretty Boys because apparently it's not fantasy unless everybody's hot. And Sai is back.
Yay! Oh,
Hello,
I gotta
Sai.
unhide. I gotta unhide
no.
Sai.
Hello. With
Oh
some
my god.
There she is.
potentially spicy new artwork. Is it in place?
Oh,
Spoilers.
it's not, but I can show it off. Oh lord, I can show it off.
Oh lord, can she show
Lordy,
it?
it's a con.
Oh lord, it's coming.
Oh lord, it's coming. Also, quick welcome to everyone from the 86th floor stream. Lovely to see you guys.
Yay,
Thank you for
nice to
popping
see
by. Hello, hello.
Hello guys.
Yeah.
When are you guys doing the giveaway reveal?
Oh wow.
Well, about
Wow,
that.
Glad you asked.
Glad you asked. Let's see. Do I have it? I think
Because
I've got
I was
a
just
scene.
thinking if everyone who has just come in from the 86th floor goes and retweets the giveaway right now, you could win some free awesome art.
Well, Clue, do you want to tell us all about the giveaway? It's up on the screen
Yes,
right now.
Guys, there's still time to enter our art giveaway, but we're celebrating 300 of y'all coming to follow us. So what you gotta do is go do all the stuff in the list, and we'll draw stuff for you for free. So yeah, we'll pick from people who've commented, left descriptions of characters. You'll get the 2 bits of art from myself and also Erin. It'll be great. Free stuff. We love free stuff, and yay for 300 followers. Thank you everyone for hanging out with us. It's real nice of y'all to come. We're gonna decide at the end of the stream. So you have till then. So probably in probably 10:30 UK time is roughly when we end. So we'll be letting y'all know then, and we'll get in touch and get more details and all that. I think that's everything. Is that everything?
I think that's
Probably.
it. Yeah.
Cool. End of the stream is when we will find out.
Yeah. So make sure to hit !giveaway in the chat to get an easy link to our Twitter post where we are collecting entrants for the giveaway. And you can find all the information on there on how to take part. But it's pretty easy. It'll only take you a couple seconds to do it, and it will take us hours to draw your character. So I think it's fair trade.
We do it willingly.
We do it
Happily.
willingly. Yeah, indeed.
Well, in the pursuit of thirsty artwork.
Indeed.
Speaking
alright.
of thirsty artwork,
Speaking of thirsty artwork, we have something to show off for anyone who is interested and hasn't seen on a thingy. Hold on 1 second. I need to change
Anyone I
this so we
think
can.
who saw us in person this last week has probably had this shoved in their face.
Yeah. Wait. Hold
On behalf of Sai, who we're all very happy for bringing Aku into our lives.
Yes.
well,
thank
we
you.
got it for
Thank you
Sai because
Aku.
it's Sai's birthday, can we just say? So, big up
Happy
wish-
birthday,
Happy
Sai!
birthday!
Happy birthday, Sai.
So hold on 1 second. I'm just gonna bring it up on stream right now.
This is so exciting. It's worth the suspense, honestly. It's worth every second of suspense.
Okay. Here we go. Da-da-da-da. This is the artwork that we
my
got
word.
for Sai's birthday. So this was commissioned by NekoConut22, who's one of Sai's favorite artists. Very sneakily asked Sai a couple weeks ago, "Hey Sai, I'm looking to follow some cool artists on Instagram. You got any recommendations?" And Sai was like, "Let me tell you if I got recommendations." And I saw this one and I was like, "Oh god, we need to buy this." So yeah, basically, we got this. But it was a group effort. Luke, Eski, and Lauren all chipped in as well. So it's a group present from a bunch of us, and thank you very much for bringing Aku into our lives, and welcome back to the stream. Really glad to have you again.
Thank you so much, guys. I was that was definitely the highlight to my birthday for sure.
Aww. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Dungeons and
Back to
Dragons?
us. Yeah.
Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Heard of it.
Yeah, I've played it once or twice. So yes, this is an original. This is original D&D campaign. To get back into it, set in the Critical Role world of Exandria. For those of you familiar with that, it's taking place about 10 years after the events of CR1, long before the events of CR2 and 3 now, which we are proceeding. the group have perhaps finally got a route to their original destination of the campaign, which is Emon, returning back from Rosohna. First of all, let me introduce. I am Dungeon Master Jamie. Joining me tonight are the Spice Boys. First of all, let me introduce Clued as Barnes. We are still waiting for Eski here as Zug. He is running ever so slightly late. Sai returning on Aku. Luke as Ascor. Lauren as Roman, maybe. And Erin as Hayden. Boyband, last time you were here, or we were together, you had just returned using Ascor's first ever teleport spell to the Everthil household in middle of the Kryn dynasty in Rosohna. You had alerted Mira Everthil that you had returned and that asked for Kildra, Roman's father, and Essek Thalis to be summoned to report your findings, give you the story of what had happened, and release one Archmage Vespin Chloras, bringer of the Calamity, to your custody. You'd all been told to go and rest and look after yourself and bathe and change, and generally the house was at your disposal, and there was a relatively heartfelt goodbye as Roman indicated to Hayden that would not be continuing with you to Emon, felt that his place was here, felt that the ghost situation needed his attention, and that whilst you may see each other again, for now at least, he wouldn't be continuing on the journey. So, D&D Boyband, you are all kind of in your separate rooms, preparing, leaving, kind of getting ready to meet with Kildra upon his return, and Essek. Is there anything each of you would like to say about what you're doing, or any of you would like to go talk to each other before that kind of moment arrives?
Have we had a long rest?
You haven't had a long rest since you teleported. This is like the morning, but you certainly would have had a short rest.
Thank you.
I don't have anything I particularly want to do, but I think I would probably just be sat in the room, assumedly with Vespin in custody, leafing through the book I wrote, and research notes, just looking for clues and things to help point me how to fix the predicament of one Vespin and his general insanity. But yeah, probably not interacting with people. Processing.
Yeah, Vespin's very similar. His demeanor hasn't really changed. You see him kind of fervently looking around whenever someone walks past. It's like he seems very aware. He seems aware of his surroundings, but everything is causing like an overwhelming reaction to him, like as if somebody's just re-realizing their senses after thousands of years being trapped away, and is unsure, scared, and not entirely of one mind.
Indeed.
Ascor's concerns will be very practical, or semi-practical as they always are at best. So he will essentially be cleaning himself a great deal, getting that shave, getting all those clothes, whatever the D&D equivalent of dry cleaned are, and looking his finest.
Okay. Roman, presumably retreating to your room, probably checking your books and library. What would you be up to?
Yeah, possibly just having a conversation with everyone familiar that's come past, and one thing that he would like to go and find is specifically if there are any like sort of self-help guidebooks on that he might have studied while he was kind of like growing up to recall past lives from his consecution. He basically wants to find something that might be helpful to Barnes in recalling his lost memories. Even though it's not exactly a similar situation, he feels like he could at least kind of maybe help him along the way.
Okay, sure. If you want to make, I suppose, just a history check.
Oh. I rolled a 2. That's an 8.
Okay. It's unfortunate. A lot of the tips you come across are tried and true. Having not gone through it yourself, you're also not perhaps too akin to the process. But from reading other reports, because it's essentially your soul, it comes in fragments. It returns slowly but surely, but fairly completely. There are things you can do to hasten the process. Certain. Oh, there's Eski.
Oh, we have Eski. Disconnect. There we go.
Hello.
Hello, Eski.
Hello, Eski.
Welcome,
Apologies.
welcome back. There we
Um,
go. We have the crew.
You have the crew. Delving into it, there are certain herbal potions or remedies that might be of assistance, but it's kind of a bit of an old wives' tale. The things that do work are presenting you with objects or going to places that were part of your previous lives or important to them. Given where you've come from, the fact that that didn't significantly trigger anything, you don't think that's going to be necessarily an option.
That's fair. It was worth a shot anyway.
Lanharath has probably gone out to the gardens and is, for want of a better word, meditating. Erin, what would Hayden be up to?
So after finishing his bath, and probably having a little cry to himself in there about Roman leaving, he's kind of sorted himself out and I guess he'd kind of go to the window of the room he's in and kind of look outside and kind of contemplate being back above ground and being so close to finally lifting the curse on him that Esicthalus put in place, and kind of feeling a bit of relief that the countdown on his life is finally almost at an end and he can hopefully live more than another 2 weeks, which the curse was wanting to do. So from looking out the window, would he see Lanharath kind of in the gardens?
Probably, yes.
Cool.
I figure that definitely you'd think would be him, probably quite high up. But...
Yeah. What do my elven eyes see, Jamie? Cool. So then Hayden's gonna head down. He's after getting dressed, obviously. He's gonna head down to the gardens and probably go approach Lanharath, because he hasn't really tried speaking to him since the basement of Barnes's house when we all realized that he was first taken over Aku.
Yeah. So as you approach, you kind of one golden eye kind of opens ever so slightly, just noting your approaches, and kind of seems to motion for you to sit down next to him.
And he kind of hesitates for a moment, looking a little bit unsure, but eventually he kind of reluctantly sits down, but notably like a few paces further than he normally would choose to sit next to Aku, since this is Lanharath instead. And he's gonna kind of sit there a little bit uncomfortably for a minute, kind of huffing and grumbling to himself as he tries to figure out how to word what he's gonna say. And then he's like, so are you like possessing Aku? Like, are you like a demon spirit, or like what's the deal here?
Lanharath kind of turns with a little wry smile. Of all I told you in the cavern, your assumption is I am a demon spirit possessing him, stopping a more evil spirit from possessing him.
I mean, different demons have got different priorities, you know? Is it... Okay.
I am certainly not a demon.
That's what a demon would say.
Quite. What I am... I'm not sure anymore. Not too sure even I would find the words necessary to express.
How exactly did you become connected to Aku, though?
It's always been. I may have lived lives before, but it's cloudy. What I remember is being here and being part of Aku, being part of me.
Wait, so have you been part of him since he was born?
I think so.
So, are you like the same age as Aku, or
I often imagine I must be older. I know things that it would be impossible for me to know otherwise. It's strange. It's not like I. It's not like I don't know these things or that I shouldn't. It's I don't remember where they come from.
is that normal? Like, is there other? Was anyone else like that, or?
No, Aku and I, our bond is different than the others.
Because
More.
more,
Much more.
like, much more in what way? He looks a little bit suspicious.
Don't get your mind out of whatever gutter it has raised itself to.
Hey, I wasn't, I mean...
I'm not here to stand in the way.
What do you-
It's difficult to explain. Other uh, others fit like we're not unique. Others have this bond, but with Aku and I, it's always been felt more. The others are separate. Together, they would make more than one whole. With Aku and I'm not sure if we would.
So separately, they would... Are you saying you can't be separated from Aku?
I'm saying I think the idea scares me more than anything else, and I don't know what would be left of either of us.
Does he know that?
Well, he does now.
I suspect he has a more it's difficult even to speak at him as something else. I think this experience will change who we are. Maybe he will feel differently now. In the past, I think I have been an impediment to the things he wanted to do.
In what way? Surely a spirit that's got hundreds of years of memories or whatever you've got going on would be a help, right? If you're not there to be an antagonist to him.
I don't think antagonistic is the word. I think in recent years, months, it's certainly become that, and that is unfortunate. I suppose it's more allowed me to, if it's allowed him to reflect more on us, then it's allowed me to as well. Yeah. He kind of like stops to ponder, and it's clear like he is struggling for the words, but he says, perhaps it's best explained. You imagine, Hayden, that when you were growing up, there was an ever-present part of you that was thought itself or believed itself wise beyond anything you could comprehend. Everything you did was judged by that creature, or that thing, or that part of you. How would you come to see that?
Annoying. That's for
Regardless
sure.
of whether or not they were right. Who cares? We all have that child part of us that just wants to be free. Maybe that's who Aku is within me, that part of me that wants to be free and can't.
I kind of feel like you taken the wheel for the past couple days probably isn't helping with that, though.
Perhaps, or perhaps it's the first time in a long time that there are consequences to actions. If you were going to be ripped in half, Hayden, torn from all you've ever known, and know that it is irredeemably impossible, and not only will you be whatever I would have become and whatever we would have become, instead, you and a whole people doomed. Would you have sat there and stopped it happen? Or would you have raised your hand, green, flaming skull in possession, and summon an army of zombies to save those who cares much
hey, come on.
We do what we can to protect those we love, Hayden. You know that, most of all, regardless of their condemnation.
Yeah.
Roasted.
Fucking sassy tree man, Jesus.
God damn, line her up. Hayden kind of sighs.
So you see how, she kind of smiles, you see how, even when I'm right, how annoying it can be.
Yeah, I get you. It's just weird that we've never really... I mean, Aku kind of keeps to himself about you, and... I mean, if you're looking out for him, we're looking out for him. Like, maybe... should, you know, parlay a bit more, communicate.
I think that would be... I'm sure that would be mutually beneficial. I suppose. And you see, it's kind of as he goes to clutch his throat for a second, and then vomits, and just like lies slammed down on the ground, unconscious.
Yo! Land
It's
her
him,
up.
Leonard. It's him.
Hayden's gonna like grab his shoulders and like try to like roll him over. Like, are you
Found the
okay?
shiv! Aku found the shiv!
What shiv?
And it's weird, as you're kind of like panicking, like moving for a second, you see kind of the grass towards the side of where Aku's fallen almost seem to like encapsulate one of his arms, like grow almost around it, and you can see that rather than kind of pulling the arm away, the grass begins to almost pull to the side, beginning to form almost another figure laying down next to Aku. And with your passive perception, you'll see that it doesn't actually seem to be leaving an indent in the ground. It seems to almost be floating, and it's a male figure, fairly similar in size and shape to Aku, but entirely made of grass, laying down next to it.
Can't tap grass. Come on. What the hell, man?
Yeah, and they're both just laying there.
You can touch grass though.
Touch. Oh man, I don't know enough about plants to deal with this. Guys, and he's gonna like shout up towards like Roman's house. Guys, help! Aka's done something weird. Does anybody hear him?
You guys can make perception checks. big house.
I mean, I'm probably roll off passive here. So I'm not searching for anything.
I rolled a natural 1. I guess my nose is buried pretty deep in the therapy books.
Oh god.
Yeah.
My passive perception is very low. So.
My passive is 12. I don't
12.
think that's really.
I don't think so. No.
If he sees Vespin jump at the sudden noise that he himself doesn't hear, he'll probably be like, "Jeez, you're so crazy. Stop it. Simmer down."
What is it?
Oh my
What do you
God.
see, boy?
Maybe chuck a pillow at him.
Oh my god.
Stop it, Vespin. Jeez.
Okay, he's gonna try to turn. Okay. Are they both like face down? Like, what's happening here?
No, they're like face up.
Face up,
they're kind
okay.
of just laying there.
There's a grass Aku, and then there's a real Aku.
Yep.
Do either of them have their eyes open? Are they breathing? What's happening?
They both have their eyes shut. Aku is breathing. Yeah, Aku's breathing. The other one doesn't seem to be.
Well, I mean, like, grass, like, doesn't normally have lungs and breathe, so I guess that makes sense. Oh god. He's gonna try shaking human-looking Aku awake. Yo, are you okay?
No response.
I'll try shaking grass Aku awake. Do my hands just go through the grass?
Yes, go shake
No!
the grass.
Oh god. Oh god, I've killed him.
They do seem to be like slightly. You've noticed now that the grass around the arm seems to be like fairly intertwined around.
What, they're like Siamese twins? Like they're
A
attached?
little bit, like conjoined, a little bit touched, yeah.
Oh god. What do I do? But he's breathing, right? He's just not waking up?
Yeah.
Human Aku? Okay. Do you wake up grass? Should I wake up grass? Do I just leave it there?
This has been shivved, man.
Where did the ship come from?
Aku
Didn't
is
shiv,
a
he just
shiv.
vomited.
His whole
But
body
like,
is
yeah,
a shiv.
nobody's coming. Well, you could go get them, but no one heard you. You don't hear any like.
No
random
one
footsteps
hears
or
your
anything.
screams.
Yeah, no one hears.
Grass is grass.
Sleeping Beauty, mate. Sleeping Beauty.
I'm not kissing him in his sleep. That doesn't have any consent. You know, consent's important. Henry
Don't know if
Crabglass would
that's
have
Aku's
taught you guys
strong
that.
point, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Aku doesn't.
When Aku pays for a
Aku
brothel,
has
there
my
is consent
informed
implied to the transaction, okay?
Listen, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Stop it! You guys are all awful! No! Y'all bad and y'all cancelled.
Oh, dead out.
Nice.
Imploring you to leave. We've got...
Y'all go to prison.
This is why Roman's actually leaving, guys.
Consent, please.
Okay, shit, okay. Can I do like a nature roll or something like that to figure out if there's anything I do to wake up the grass?
Go for it, Mick. Do you have much experience with grass?
I mean, touching it sometimes. Nature roll?
Yep, nature roll.
I have in the past touched grass.
What about
That's my defense, Your Honor.
wait, am I still exhausted or have I recovered that?
You would have recovered that.
We've had a sleep since the shenanigans.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Then 16.
16. No, you don't know how to wake up grass. So I would say that you have some idea that if it's not coming through Aku, like sorry, if you can't put your hands on it, it's probably not really grass.
Okay, and shaking Aku doesn't wake him up, and I can't do anything with the grass.
However, when you peel back the eyes, the kind of the gold, the gold like glint that was indicated that Lanharath was there has gone.
Okay, then can I do a medicine check on human Aku then, see if there's a way I can figure out how to wake him up?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, that's a 17.
17. So you kind of look around, you look at his thing, there's no like pupils dilated, he's breathing fairly normally, if a bit heavy. Pulse is fine. You can't see any scars or anything. You kind of look at the vomit that's kind of on the ground, and it doesn't kind of ring any alarm bells on that front. You aren't you don't have any magic, you don't have any like health potions on you or anything, do you? He doesn't seem to be like, none of his vitality seems to have gone.
I have a wand of cure light wounds.
Okay. If you would like to try that, but you don't think it's like a medical thing. This is a magical effect.
Right. Magic.
Arcane Trickster knows something about magic, right? Surely?
Yeah. I know all about Arcana, Jamie. Can I do an Arcana roll?
Illusion and enchantment, is it?
You can do an Arcana roll, sure, yeah.
Okay. Oh no, it's a natural one. But wait, hold on. I have reliable talent though, so how does that work? Does that just
reliable talent now?
Yeah.
Just means it's 10.
Are you proficient in it?
Well,
proficient in Arcana?
I'm confused because D&D, roll 20 says 18, but I've got the red box around it, which suggests I rolled a 1. So I rolled a 1, and it's +8, but I've got reliable talent, so it's
If you have proficiency, the lowest dice you can roll is 10.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So do I still add my bonus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is 18, even though I rolled a nat 1?
Yeah.
Yo, expertise in
It's one of the only
reliable
abilities that
talent's
means
so
you can't roll a
broken.
natural 1 in the game.
I love this. Okay. I rolled an 18 on Arcana, Jamie. What does that tell me?
That tells you that whatever effect this is, right, you kind of can piece together a small amount of what might have happened here. Clearly Lanarath has been ejected. That seems to have caused some effect on Aku. You don't know with the 17 if you could wake him. Maybe it's exhaustion, maybe it's the body slowly reasserting itself. It seems like it might just require a little bit of time. You reckon you might need to help getting him inside, maybe take him to your friends, just get Aku to a safe place where he can recover.
Okay. Right. I'm gonna sit next to Aku and watch over his unconscious body, and I'm gonna use message, which has got a range of 120 feet, to try to ping off some messages towards the direction of the house and see if I can get in touch with Romen or Zug or Barnes or Asgore.
Okay.
So you're checking out.
Immediately fails on Zug. You cannot penetrate.
You're checking out. You're checking out Aku's body, are you?
Excuse me? This is a medical
What you said?
emergency. This is a medical
What you say,
emergency.
sir?
No, I said I'm sitting next to Aku because he's unconscious. You have to look after
Watching over his body.
unconscious people. I mean,
I don't remember you taking Hippocratic oath.
So who did you try for? Roman?
I tried to call
everyone.
everyone. Yeah.
Okay, I would say everybody except for Zug hears Hayden's plea.
Hey guys, I'm in the gardens outside, and Aku is like collapsed or something. Can someone come help? I don't know how to garden.
Roman will obviously come out.
I think have we lost Clued, by the way?
I think we have.
PC is frozen.
Oh no.
From Asgore, you simply hear, I'm in the tub, bathing, but I'll be down soon enough.
I love Asgore so much.
Yeah. Roman will just say, I'm on my way.
Cool. Aiden will sit tight until someone comes to his rescue.
Okay, I would say, let's see if Clue 20 seconds. Okay, yeah, I give it 10-20 seconds for Clue. While you're there, you see that like Aku is slowly, like, you see kind of almost based on those checks, almost like somebody recovering from like extreme pins and needles. There's like some twitching in the toes, twitching the fingertips as the feeling, the sensation kind of restores.
Does he wake up at all?
Not yet.
Okay. I will just keep waiting till someone shows up, because I'm not a doctor, and I'm definitely not a herbologist.
Please include. Give it we'll wait just for Barnes to get back, because I presume Barnes will be on the way to help.
Askel would not show up first. He probably wouldn't.
Quick, Sai, you're the DM now. What is your decree?
Is Zug with anybody else? Because other than that, he'd have no idea. If he was by himself, he'd just be oblivious.
No. What would you be with Askel? Or is Askel kind of eventually traipse out? Maybe not.
Not when he's in the bath.
No, he'd be guarding the bathroom.
He doesn't take the guarding thing so seriously that he stands sentry outside or wherever he goes.
You've
Like
got
it's more
like
just
the
like a.
spirit of ghost on your head.
Oh,
Why have I been attacked by Cthulhu?
You got a tiny Ultros.
It begs the
Because you have-
question what you
because
are
you
up
have-
to before this.
You have
Uh,
snap
I just
camera.
restarted my computer.
It's because
It's
you have
so
your
good.
snap cameras on. That's why you'd have to change your input.
I don't have any filters on. Okay. I've killed it.
I missed the filter.
I know, I wish it came back.
But yeah, no, Zug doesn't necessarily just stand sentry outside of Askel's room every time he does something.
Okay.
Like his,
I will
he would
say
have wandered
that.
off.
I will say the majority of you eventually make your way outside, kind of arriving, assessing one by one, and let's just say that after I'd say 2-3 minutes, all of you come outside, and Aku kind of slowly begins to stir, with each of you kind of staring around him. And welcome back, Sai, as Aku. You're lying, your face up in the air, your mouth tastes strange, your whole body feels weird, very pins and needles, and you are like looking up at the like a couple of 5 faces just staring down at you.
Is the grass there?
Yeah, the grass is kind of thing, and let's say like as well see as Aku sits up, the grass sits up next to Aku.
Wait, at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh, that's freaky.
What's up with the grass, doppelganger?
Aku like threw up, and then that was what came out.
He vomited his own clone.
Kinda, yeah.
His clone is made of grass.
And who is this grass man?
Aku. Is that Aku?
Are you Lanhrath?
Well, I guess Aku's sort of sitting up slowly. He's kind of squinting. The light is probably pretty bright for his eyes. And he doesn't really look... He looks completely disorientated. Like, he probably doesn't really look like he knows where he is right now. He's kind of glancing at everyone. I mean, as Jamie mentioned earlier, like, his eyes aren't kind of yellow anymore. But I think he's just kind of gonna squint at everyone, look at the pool of vomit next to him, and try and breathe normally.
Okay. As you breathe in, there's like a, and you kind of look down, and the scar that kind of had reappeared across there, as you're kind of like a rather rattly breath than before, you can see the scar's quite like. It's not as open or it's not like as obvious as it was before, but it's clearly regrown a little bit since you were given speech essentially back by Lanhrath, or cured or healed.
I mean, Aku's gonna open his mouth to try and say what's going on, I
Yeah,
guess. I mean,
and as you do, there's kind of and you realize you can't talk again. And then Harath, who is the entity next to you, kind of ever so slightly, so you can see his movement kind of doesn't quite twist with. He seems to be copying or almost imitating like his movements, apart from the occasional break. And at that point, his head kind of snaps, and you guys hear. I think that particular gift has been misused a little.
Wait, the grass guy just spoke that, but like out loud? Can we all hear that, or was that?
Yeah, you can all hear it.
Well, The gift of speech, you mean the right to say things with your own voice, has been misused. Wow. This grass is an asshole.
Listen here, you overgrown hedge. What the fuck, man? This isn't gonna make amends! What's wrong with you? God, I'm speaking to a fucking grass man. What?
The grass kind of begins to peel away ever so slightly and reveals the more bark, kind of more solid, but in a sense you could still kind of put your hand through him. The more solid form of Lanharath that those of you who have seen him before kind of inhabits, the more tree-like, dryad, off-than-looking thing rather than before. He can still speak as he could before.
What, you mean telepathically?
Lanharath nods.
Seems rather a step back, given you were trying to make strides in repairing whatever relationship you two have. Did you think?
As
I would have thought-
Lanharath is kind of starting to speak and the grass is like peeling away, you can kind of see that Aku's breathing is really pretty strained. Like, he starts like huffing for breath and he's touching his throat and his head snaps to Lanharath and he just says, "You." What? You have no right to do any of this. And he sort of gets to his feet a bit too quickly, tries to grab Lanharath and probably falls flat on his ass.
Obviously, slightly unaware, slightly gangly, having been reasserted into your body, you stand straight up. Lanharath joins you in this. Like, as you move quickly, so does he to stand up. Yeah, and as you kind of turn and twist and like try to like grab hold of him, you fall through him. But strangely, he seems to like almost fall. You pass through him, but then he falls down beside you, next to you.
Well, okay, listen, everybody, let's calm down. There's no sense in having at it.
Yeah, what he said.
Peace.
Hmm.
Aku, are you all right? Before we get into condemning Lanharath for whatever's going on, do you need anything? Can we help? Can we do any healing? Or do you just want to be left alone?
Do you
need
require an
time to adjust?
exorcism? We can arrange for an exorcism if you like.
I have a certificate in that, actually. It's a module in college.
Lanharath's not a demon. We can't exorcise him. At least I think.
It's probably at this point that Ascor hadn't been with you guys, but you see the sort of door to the courtyard open, and Ascor sort of, not storms, but purposefully walks out, and he's wearing not his usual sort of family colours. He's wearing just a sort of pure white bathrobe, barefooted, comes out. But he's got an apple and a knife, and he's already sort of like into the apple with the knife as well. So he sort of grabbed it on the way down as he's going past. What's going on here? Hayden?
We're arranging an exorcism.
Aku's vomited and created a grass clone of himself.
These are all ridiculous.
And you didn't feel like getting dressed today, I see?
I came as soon as I could. I was baiting.
You had time to get an apple.
Well, it was just there on the side on the counter as I came past, so why not? Didn't take any time.
Alright.
Let's not focus on the apple. What's going on here? What's that? It's too early to be casting spells, and he sort of gestures to the grass man.
I am Lanharath, as you could probably work out if you took a second to think about it, Ascor.
Ascor just as if he's just not taking any bullshit. He's just like, no, that's not Lanharath. And he points to Aku. That's Lanharath. That is a bunch of grass.
I think he's vomited him up like Lanharath was the bad curry that he had last night.
Well, it's
Aku, is that you then?
See me outside of this form. This is how I've been for most of our journey. Attached, kind of indicates where their arms are joined.
And then he looks from Lanharaf to Aku and goes, Aku, is that really you?
And Aku gives Ascor a flat look, and inside everyone's heads, you hear, "What do you think, dipshit?"
Including my own head.
Maybe. If
And-
if Snug has previously allowed someone to access his head, does that mean they have like a carte blanche?
No,
from
I'll
then
say
on?
it's like a knock each time, but it's like you know who's knocking.
Oh, so what's the range of this projection out of interest? Would it cover the house? This particular-
Your trick. I think sorry. Your
I'm sorry, the thing that Aku just said.
oh yeah. Let's say that.
So he hears a knock. It just like kind of like lets it in, and all he hears is, "What do you think, dipshit?" He just turns around, stares at the wall.
Isn't Zug down there? Did Zug just not give a shit?
Doug just didn't give a shit.
He just like didn't understand the first knock, but then the second knock, he kind of like he was like, "Oh, there's someone there," like as if like he didn't hear the door the first time.
Oh
And
my
then the second
God.
time he heard the door, and all he heard like was, "What do you think, dipshit?" And he just kind of spins around like, "Fuck."
As you're all watching, Lanharath's physical appearance shifts again from the bark to kind of the whatever physicality that was there has slightly gone away. Kind of it almost drops to the floor, the bark disintegrating on the ground to leave behind it's something that could almost be mistaken for a trick of the light occasionally. A much more ethereal form, ever so slightly taller than Aku. Face is now a lot more human, a lot more reminiscent of kind of a fusion, what you'd imagine of what it looked like previously, and Aku. You see that he kind of his eyes are that same kind of golden color you've seen, but no irises. Throughout his skin, you can see kind of vines and moss or like things kind of almost like cracks within it. It's somewhere between Aku and the form he inhabited before, kind of standing there.
All right, this is all very well and good. You're transitioning from grass to bark to sparkly man, but you're going to have to explain exactly what's going on, because this is all getting very vague, and a lot's happened in the last 24 hours, so I'm going to need something in plain layman's terms. Aku, are you okay? Lanharath, what's up with this? Are we good? What's happening?
Well, Aku can answer for himself, but
As he says that, Aku just pathetically tries to get up again on wobbly legs and just like punch through Lanharath.
Aku, please. He's fine. Looks back.
I'm not sure he's fine. He's clearly very upset. Don't diminish his feelings.
I'm very intimately aware of what Aku is feeling. It's impossible for him not to make.
Why are
me
you
aware.
making light of them in front of his friends?
I'm not making light of anything. He's fine.
Insight check. Does Aku seem fine?
Yeah, go for it.
Spoiler, whatever you roll, Aku is probably not fine.
22. I guess he doesn't
Ready.
seem fine.
I mean, it's like it's whatever definition of fine. Like he's not about to die. He's physically fine. Is he really fucking angry? Yeah.
Alright.
Like.
Lanharath, Spirit Man, I'm starting to think your definition of fine, you might not be lying, is a little out of the realms of what actually constitutes as fine for a human being. So, we're going to separate those two things. Aku, answer for yourself. Are you alright? Can we help you? Do you need us to exercise this? How do you want to proceed?
I guess this is maybe actually oh no, it's not. You've definitely heard Aku's voice before, telepathically. So yeah, you're gonna. Everyone in sort of surrounding him is gonna hear. Well, and he sort of points at Lanharath with pretty shaky arm, took away my body from me, and he said that he wouldn't. And he's like coughs a bit, like almost as if he's going through the motions of like when he thinks about it, he's trying to like speak it, but kind of he can't. So he takes like a deep breath and just says, as much as I wish it right now, Barnes, you can't exercise him.
All right. So it's...
And it would likely not end well for either of us if you did.
So, I suppose what I'm asking in the immediate now, how can we help you, Aku? Don't answer, Tree Guy.
Well, in the most Aku of ways, Aku is gonna stubbornly shrug, brush his trousers off, and probably cough and say, I don't need your help, I'm fine.
I told you.
All right, but we've
Fine.
established that fine is defined kind of loosely in these terms, maybe actually by both of you, not just you, Lanharath. There's a lot going on. Can we maybe explain why you've come back now? Also, the elephant in the room perhaps being to do with the fact that you took control of Aku in a certain moment where a major decision was made.
Yes.
Right.
Well, what would you have had me do? Do you
Sure.
think I had any other choice?
I'm
I discussed it with Hayden before.
I'm not necessarily criticizing you for your decisions.
I think
More
you
that
are.
No, I'm more saying that there are repercussions and that learning to live with this and talk it out is maybe a healthy thing. So before assuming this is an attack on you, which it isn't, how can we move past this in a way that won't have Aku shakily accusing you and trying to punch you every 5 seconds? And you maybe integrating a little more happily and not thieving of body and will and such.
Why is it thieving?
Well, he doesn't want you in his body or taking control of it, does he?
Well, I mean,
You're taking it without consent.
our
Isn't that theft
body,
of will?
Our body.
I mean, I only just found out about this a couple minutes ago, but Aku, is it right that you and Lanharath have been kind of connected since you were born?
Since I saved his life.
Hold on, you left out that detail before.
And Ascor walks forward from the back from the doorway, sort of into the group and says, "Saved from what exactly?"
Come, Hayden, and Lanarath extends his hand.
Where
Let me show you.
is this
At
like
that, Aku is gonna immediately stand up and say, show him what exactly?
The moment we met. Do you not remember?
How? I don't understand what you're trying to do, Lanharath. I really... He's
boyfriend dancer.
totally lost for words. Like he's desperately trying to stop this from happening. Like he
Lanarath throws up his hand. Okay.
I think if you are
Okay.
indeed the same person, there's some work that needs to happen to unpack this. Clearly, this is not a situation that is worked out, and that perhaps will take some time to adjust. Aku, you are clearly in need of a bit of rest. However fine you may be, you could do the sit down, and maybe some wine or whatever will help. Maybe we can sit and figure it out together. Lanharath, is this a permanent thing now, or are you just a shiny guy hanging out with us, or?
I've always been here. It's different that you can all see me, actually, and a little confused what's happened.
I've never pressed the question before. Do you need to be here? Why haven't you left? Aren't there things you want to achieve? Why don't you be your own man?
I can't, and I don't want to. You couldn't rip out any part of you, could you? Cut off your left arm right now. No? Why doesn't it want to be its own thing, or its own man?
I think you're asking the wrong person. And Askell lifts up a hand and it turns into an eel that slips out of his clothes onto the floor, flaps around, dissipates into dust. And then you see small fingers growing back rapidly.
My baby
Aku
hat.
just looks disgusted at what's just happened, looking at the arm on the ground.
And Askell sees that and goes, "Okay, I'm sorry. That was a bit dramatic. However,
That was
I
really
think you're
cool.
talking to the.
Do it
Well,
again.
it's well, I don't do it too often. It's going to lose its surprise, its charm.
Dramatics aside, no.
Well, have you tried? You said you don't want to.
I ask, perhaps somebody else. Remove the part of yourself that is most at odds with who you want to be. Bonds with your history,
No, I was just
it's not that
reflecting
easy.
on your question. I think I might have already done that, and yeah, it's true. When you have something integral to you removed, you're left a little bit confused, but
Although I must say, I don't think you're making a very good case for yourself, Aku, because the journey of life is about trying to shed those parts of you which you do not like and you wish to improve on in order to become a better, more whole person. And in this situation, from what I understand with Aku, you should be the part that he is trying his hardest to remove.
I think people go through life attempting to change and often failing and learning to live with that and learning to make the best of it.
it's not necessarily about removal, it's often about acceptance and integration.
And to the
Perhaps.
therapist. We're going to therapize him. Forget exercising. We're going to therapize Lenhera.
Get therapized!
And if that's what we're working with, then we're going to have to start by getting it all out in the open, but I'm sensing that perhaps now is not the moment, or is it, Aku, Lanharat? Is there anything you want to say to each other?
Perhaps there is a
It's
more
difficult.
suitable venue for this exchange other than
Oh.
the front lawn of my estate.
Right, I do have a lot of experience in couples counselling, which isn't exactly the same scenario.
I knew this is what this was.
I think Lanharat and I could probably give each other a look.
And additionally, perhaps this is something a little more private,
Right, and it's
not
also not
deserving an
really...
audience.
Right, it's not really schizophrenia either. I think I need to do some reading, actually, to think of the best approach for this. But if you want help accepting each other, we can do it together, we can hold hands, come by it, I'll play some tunes, we'll have a good time.
I suspect there is much to be talked about and much that I would share that Aku would not. So for now, I shall return to my role as the silent companion while you work out what to do with the Archmage you've left in the tower.
I know what I'm going to do with the Archmage in the tower, actually.
I think you missed the operative part of that sentence.
Guys, who's looking after Vespin?
He's chilling, he's fine.
No! Hayden's gonna run back to the house.
I have to say, Barnes, I'm not exactly thrilled to hear that you left the harbinger of the calamity in a house alone with my mother.
I just assumed I brought him with me. I just assumed that Buns is going everywhere. He kind of like falls as I'm saying, yeah, that was pretty absent-minded of me, wasn't it? I'm sorry, I'm going to go look for him.
Oh my
Lanharat,
God.
either of you, whenever you're ready, come to me, we'll have a great time of it. Bye. And he kind of like jogs off with a bit of a like shit expression on his face.
Oh my god. Did we just retcon that you've had him with you this whole time?
No, it's funnier.
There it is, you run upstairs, you see him, Vera, kneeling down next to him, handing him tea and him like shaking, holding the tea to go drink it.
Is he scared of her as well because she's a drow?
Yeah.
Oh my
Back
god.
away from me. Back away from him. He's a bit scared of drow. I can't explain it. I'm sorry. It's a prejudice that he carries from a lifetime of pain. Just gently usher her away. Be like, I'm really sorry about him if he said anything weird to you.
They just kept muttering about crawling and spiders. I assume he was, with them.
Right, he had a rough time of it. Yeah, with them. Yeah, those guys. Those terrible guys. Really bad guys. Yeah. That was it. That was all he said.
I think he. Oh, he said your Barnes, right?
Right. He did say
I think he
that.
said your names a few times.
Oh. Just gonna turn to Vespin, look down at him, and be like, "Bad, Vespin. Do not ever stop."
It's been kind of at the thing. It kind of like rolls away, like dropping the teapot or dropping the teacup on the ground. You hear it kind of tinker and fall away.
Franz is gonna curse under his breath as he realizes he's Vespin's name, not the fake one that we gave him.
Oh yeah, shit. What did you call him?
Varen, I think he's just like, I'm such a disaster today. I'm sorry. I guess I'll lead Vespin away back to his room.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I'm a mess.
Say, obviously, there's probably a lot of internal dialogue between Akko and Lanharath, which we will leave for the time being, as you, I presume, does anybody help Akko kind of walk back in? Obviously unsure on his feet.
If we offer it, will he accept it? Is the question.
Yes.
Always.
Well, you have to find out, won't you?
Oh, Roman would offer him a
Fuck
hand
that.
up or an arm.
Roman?
Mm.
Yeah, I guess Aku's gonna probably just like take a dirty, grimy hand, grab onto like his sort of coat shoulder sleeve, and grunt as he gets up, spit out the bad taste in his mouth, maybe accidentally hitting Roman's shoes, and walk off.
It's fine, Roman hasn't had a shower yet, so... No tea then! He shouts after him.
Okay. I presume Akko doesn't answer that.
No.
Alright.
No, he does not.
As you all walk back, going back to your rooms, preparing whatever. After I'd say 5-10 minutes, you hear like Belthron come and collect you, letting you know that Kildra and Essek are on their way, and kind of brings you back down to what seems like an age ago now. You guys had your first dinner here with Ghost and his family. Long ago, and kind of the table's prepared or set, and there seems to be a place for each of you, sitting alongside, opposite, two chairs, with Mira kind of sitting on your side, and you're motioned to sit facing these two. And after some time, Balforan opens the door, and you recognize the kind of the slender, ever so slightly floating figure of Hot Boy Essex Thalis entering into the room, and also the obviously older, slightly larger, more kind of resplendent robes, multiple rings of Kildra, Roman's father, who kind of as you come in goes, I heard you were back, but it's wonderful to see it with my own eyes. Come here, Roman. It's been too long. I kind of immediately runs over to you.
Yeah, obviously. Happy to see old dad.
It was by the light of the Lux, and I am glad you have returned. And with your, with all of you, although I was told your mission so far for Elena's sake has not gone to plan.
That is indeed what we would like to discuss with you.
Well, I'm glad to see you no longer in chains. And he turns around and looks at Essek, and Essek kind of bows his head a little bit. Isn't that right, former Shadow Hand? Essek kind of folds his arms. doesn't really say anything, but kind of gives a fuck you look and sits down at the other side of the table. And Kildra goes, "Well, come on then. Who is this? I don't recognize the pale, dowry one, and you, two more humans."
Can I just
Wonderful.
make it clear that when Barnes enters the room, he does a double take at Essek and does a low whistle of appreciation?
So you're already here, so Essex
Roman is
Essex
literally,
walked in.
the second he does that, Roman literally shoots him the dirtiest look that there is no way that he would not see, and Roman looks pissed off that he's done that.
I love Barnes.
Gives him a shit-eating grin. He's the tongue out emoji.
Yes, this happy little chappie and his miserable little boyfriend are unimportant at the moment. The first order of business that I have to discuss is your dear friends, the Lord and Lady Bylin. You may or may not have seen a kerfuffle. Seems they were in league with some sort of cultists of Zahir or other such betray god nonsense, and they have been dealt with. You're welcome, by the way.
Kind of what was it? Kildra kind of nudges Essex and goes, "You hear that? I mean, we knew it already, but right under your nose the whole time." And just smiles at Essex. And Essex, we had some suspicions. Their house was searched thoroughly upon your tip-off, as well as the battle site you left behind. This has all been confirmed, talked over. You are indeed correct. We found I'm not
Sorry,
sure.
I didn't quite hear that. Can you just repeat that last bit? I didn't hear that. The bit where you said that I was correct. I thought that's what you said.
Roman Everfell were correct. Lord and Lady Byron were indeed in league with Zahir, amongst other unsavory members of this community, which have also been similarly purged. And I have been told to, you haven't been told anything. I have been told to bring the thanks of the entire court, especially the queen herself, for rooting this out, clearing the name of a good house, my own, and secondly, destroying this with, well, obviously, given your number here, little loss for life. Although, well, your friend, what was it? Rasha, briefly stopped by, but is not with you now?
It seems as though he has moved on to better things.
Ah, well, that's a shame. I would wanted to thank him as well, but in the meantime, I thank all of you.
No problem. It was really quite easy.
Ah, were you involved?
Absolutely, the whole time. No, I did jack shit. Sorry, I'm just, yeah.
So,
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you. And you are?
Burns Castello. Happy little chaffy.
Happy little chappy. And sad boyfriend?
Pet project. We'll get to him in a bit. Ignore us. Do you have any tea?
I take slight concern at you describing your sad boyfriend as a pet.
We're going to ignore Roman's phrasing here. Pet project.
Very well. Yes, it says, to the smaller matter of your compensation. First of all, I know there are humans amongst you, as much as some of you are trying to hide it, or have been trying to hide it walking around the city. You will each receive one of these, and kind of slides over a small mark bearing the kind of Luxon with the kind of infinity symbol wrapped around it, and then the kind of purple pentagon inside it, which is the symbol of the city, which means you simply display this. No one will question your purpose in or around the Shorehas Empire. Secondly, with the Lord and Lady Byron being removed of all their possessions, the house, and whatever it is falls to well, I would say you, Roman, but I suppose your family or whoever you deem to gift it to.
I think it seems appropriate to dissolve the estate and use what is accrued to compensate the party here.
Ascor looks disgusted.
And of course, with a suitable amount going to repair the some of the damage, compensate the victims. The violent estate has been broken down and provided to each of you as well, which, based on our previous number, including Russia, was 30,000 gold pieces each. But I suppose that number is slightly different if you want to include these two and not include Russia, or include Russia.
It's a difficult one, I suppose. Perhaps we...
Suffice to say, it's 180,000 gold pieces for you to do with as you wish at this point.
Oh yeah.
Welp.
Which is a suitable sum and quite difficult to carry, so please, he kind of puts a bag of holding on it and grabs the table and slides it towards you.
Are we all present for this conversation, by the way?
You're all present for this conversation, it's just a long table.
I mean, we should probably keep Russia's share for him, because I just mean, I know he's trying to collect a lot of golds to build his temple to Geb, and he'll probably need that, and it could help patch things over. He seemed kind of mad when he left. If we bump into him again?
I too like to pay for my friendships.
I didn't mean it like that. Oh, never mind. I kind of
I'm
stop
joking.
talking.
That's a very nice thought of you.
At the mention of the sum, Ascor kind of just sort of turns to Zug and just sort of looks kind of like unimpressed, like 180,000 gold, a whole estate. Poverty is terrible.
With certain deductions, of course. Kuriko's not bad for a day's work, although that was quite a fierce battle, though. I would love you to tell me the story, perhaps at another time. It's...
Father, we will have so much time to go over every gory, juicy little detail later, and I'll be sure that the next time I appear before the Bright Queen to regale her of the tale as well.
Wait, didn't Roman die in that fight?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, onto perhaps the slightly thornier matter of my erstwhile progeny, Alenia. He kind of taps this thing, and Essek kind of the whole thing. He's been like obviously trying to shrink into his chair a little bit, but at the thing that might have gone wrong, he kind of like leans forward a little bit, paying more attention. Please, news, developments, hope, whatever you can offer.
Well, the good news is I don't expect him to do any more damage than has already been done. The bad news is the damage that has already been done.
As in damage we are unaware of? Are you about to inform me of some damage that has been done?
Yes, I'm just allow me to take a second to collect my thoughts on how to phrase this correctly. Some damage has been done to the Divine Gate. Not irreparable.
I will allow you to elaborate before I have any reaction to that.
Well, the Arbor Exemplar is where Elenia has set up his base of operations for whatever nefarious purposes that he has. I assume, given his prior attempts and his research, his goal is to rip a hole between the planes to bring untold death and destruction upon our material plane here. Something like that. And in the process of attempting to stop him, and also, you may remember discussion of a rather powerful evil artifact, which has been since destroyed, also
Hmm.
more good news.
Yes, the cucumber.
The cucumber, yes, Hayden's cucumber.
Hayden's cucumber has been destroyed.
It has been.
A blight removed from the world.
Don't want to know what came out of it, though. Wow.
Well, as for what came out of it, well, he sort of like gestures over to Vespen. How should I explain this as a 0 charisma character? Out of it did come the ancient archmage Vespin Chloras.
At that, Essek throws back off the table. You see him stand up, and you see him like click his fingers, drop the ruby onto the ground, and a cage appears around Vespin, and like whirls, and
Sorry.
you were like
He's
a
actually quite,
force cage. You did what?
He's actually quite nice.
This is
don't worry.
whom?
He's quite peaceful.
It was an unexpected consequence of destroying the cucumber, and
You brought him here.
would you rather I left him to his own devices, wandering
I'd
around in
rather
the
you
Bob
kill
Hills?
him like he deserves.
All right, I'm going to stop you
Well,
there.
oh.
Essek
Well, you may
Taylor.
see in a second, and he gestures to Bonds, why that was so difficult.
All right, before this gets out of hand and we start shooting fingers of death around the room, let's not do that. I do have a proposition for you, Asictalis. But before we get into that, I want you to make sure you understand where I'm coming from. Okay?
Who are you? Why should I listen to you in this moment? You weren't there at the battle. You are now sitting in this room because
My name is Barnes Castello, and Vespin Chloras and I are the last 2 living denizens of the Age of Arcanum as we live and breathe. Or otherwise don't, because I'm a corpse and he's sort of a lich. But anyway,
sorry. So you are also an archmage who heralded the calamity,
no,
like
I'm a
rounds on
therapist.
Roman.
I'm a therapist.
It is undecided whether he was complicit in enabling the calamity. I have not got to the bottom of that. Roman looks deeply convicted at the fact that he like agrees with Asictalis on something, and it's like really like upsetting him.
Listen, before we get carried away again with the murder, as I just said, Archmage Asictalis, I know men like you. I know them very well. I know the terrible burden of intellect and skill that you carry. I know the pressure on you to innovate, to create, to change the world around you, and the nerve to seek the knowledge that only you can. And I know the ambition well to reach your hand into the fire for it, and the fire is sat right here, and he points to Vespin. So I'm well used to helping brilliant men like you succeed, so will you listen to my proposal as to how I can, or are we going to have to get nasty about this?
I think we can let persuasion.
There you go.
Yo.
Oh, Pog, wait, that's really high. That's like, what's
Barnes persuaded a dragon. Asictalis is nothing.
33.
Turkey tree.
Gets smoked.
33. It's 33, DM.
I thought it was the 22nd of the 22nd of the 22nd.
92nd.
Oh shit, it is?
It is, yes.
It is.
Lots of twos today.
Oh, no, it's not quite there. It's 2022, somebody tell me.
And it's 2020 right now.
It is.
2020.
2022.
22,
like, so-
22.
As you know, Essex like has cast Force Cage and it's around him. He kind of like looks at you, looks back to Vespin. Looks at the rest of you to see how you've reacted to this. How are you all reacting to this claim? This is
Hayden
what you've agreed, or...
Hayden was like trying to drink the tea, but his hand is shaking so much that he's like spilling it all over into the saucer. And he's trying to put it into his mouth. He's just like, don't look at me, don't ask me questions, I'm not here.
Doug actually just looks a little spaced out.
Ascor looks like very slightly peeved by Roman just kind of like spilling the beans a bit too much, you know what I mean? Just like, come on, don't talk to the police. Rule number 1, don't talk to the police.
Roman's a grass.
Do you think Ascor has that philosophy? Don't talk to the police.
Yeah,
Ascor's
he just knows
immediately
to
they're
wait.
on your side.
Ascor just knows to wait until his lawyer gets there and then everything's fine. Say a damn thing.
Roman
In
can't lie
fact,
to
he
his parents.
And and Aku is unsure.
Now,
I just
hearing this ethic, before you go into it, I just want some assurance that, considering the last time I divulged to you some important information involving the safekeeping of our sacred realm, that you handcuffed both of my parents here, who have graciously offered you the hospitality of their estate once again, and run us straight out of town. Just want to know that you're not going to do that again, are you?
well, I think I might have quite a case this time, legitimate
Well,
one.
Listen
But
to my
didn't-
proposal
but
before you make
but
this
I
assumption.
didn't start the
would be
calamity.
interested in. You brought it here. I would be interested in knowing why this thing has not reacted to my cage, has not attacked, has not spoke for itself, has not so much as done anything other than whimper.
Well, as
And
you
I'd be
can
interested in knowing how
see,
you're here.
on the matter of Aspen and what's wrong with him, he's completely non-functioning. His resurrection and the traumas he suffered at the hands of the betrayer gods and within the vessel his soul was left in the cucumber. It's left him bereft of sense or reason, but in short, he's completely fucked. He can't defend himself, and murdering him would be tantamount to killing an innocent, really, at this point. He doesn't have memory, he doesn't have thought. So that's that.
Essek looks at Roman, almost to confirm.
Roman just sips his tea and just sort of like nods.
So you bring me a broken man.
Oh, I bring you opportunity, Asik. Keep the cage up if it makes you feel better, but do you want to know what I have in exchange for your attention and your consideration?
He just looks at you, kind of folds his arms, sits back down.
Right. So what I have sat in front of you is undoubtedly the most powerful of the archmages of pre-calamity times. He may or may not, of course, cause a calamity. We're actually quite unsure at this point, but reportedly he has. And potentially he is both an immense danger, as well as being the single greatest opportunity the world could have presented specifically to you, Essek Talus. As I said, I know what archmages are like, and I know what you're due to serve your country and advance knowledge and power in the world. Yes?
As is our charge.
As is your solemn charge and duty. I'm going to put it bluntly. This city sucks compared to what I lived in. You've lost an awful lot in the calamity. And the secrets that are held inside this man's brain, it can make you weep for the wonders that once flew around the skies. And I'm the key to them.
Do they not live
following?
in your brain?
Well, it's complicated. For starters, I'm not an archmage. So, sure, I can look at some contraptions, I can look at some magical devices, I could maybe stab at how to use them or unpack their secrets, but what better than a guy that helped build them on a daily basis, huh?
Barnes, you'll hear in your head Nascor's voice through invasive thoughts. Play it careful. You don't want to seem too much of a threat.
Can I reply to that without speaking aloud? Okay, Hilda, don't worry, I've got a game plan and something I want to talk to you about later.
Very well.
So, your proposal is I take this man off your hands,
Well,
restore the greatest, potentially evil mind of the Age of Arcanum, in the hope that once restored, he aids me?
no, you can't do it, you don't have the skills. Here's where I come in. I'm what we used to call a psychotherapist, so that's one trained in the art of healing the mind, a medical professional. I can do it, I can fix him. And if you want what's in his brain, you need me to get it. And you need me to do it my way, not your way. No torture, no cages, no incarceration, just gentle safety. Because as he is too delicate for erroneous handling. And it's not just that. Him and I also have history, and I don't really know what it is, but he knows me, he trusts me. And there's no one else in this world that can do this.
I think you perhaps missed one point there. This man is currently, you claim, from his reactions, I can at least surmise, harmless. You would have him be returned to what he was? Why would I risk this?
Because Asictalus, you want to know what he can give you. And that's the world back. That's the power that he held but at your disposal for the glory of Rosohna. You have him safe.
Killed Romen mirror here as well.
Okay, I'm also going to use my knowledge from a past life feature to add a d6 to the roll. So that's 35 total.
I always knew Barnes was a psycho terrorist.
Essex sits back, and for something almost imperceptibly, but somebody perhaps of your insight, Barnes, into human mind and seeing it before, the cogs are turning, possibilities opening up, the endless potential, the desire, the lack of care perhaps for what it costs.
Seeing him do this,
flashes across his face.
Seeing him do this, Bonds is going to quickly say, and actually, do you know what? I can sweeten it with a down payment. He's going to turn to Zug and be like, Zug, can you put the fridge on the table, please?
Yeah.
Thought you were gonna sacrifice Zug.
Guys, like, if I...
Yeah,
he grabs the
please
fridge
take
out,
him.
and he
There
just
is
kind of
Rongo,
plumps
the
it down.
king.
There is
Tom
one
sit down on the table
singular
and he goes-
gem left.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he pushes it. He kind of like pushes it into the middle of the table, kind of looking a bit dejected. He goes, "Take it."
Don't worry. Well, it's my fridge to begin with. What you being so despondent about? Jeez. All right, Asictalus.
As you say that, he turns and he kind of glares at Aku a little bit.
I love this. I love the emotion attached to this fridge. I love just the sort of sense of inevitability that he knew this perfect love was always limited, you know?
Listen, Asictalus, what this device does isn't particularly exciting unless you're Zug, but how it's powered is. And he's gonna like twizzle it around or try to, and he's probably too weak to actually manually turn the fridge. He's like, Zug, can you help me turn it around? Sorry, I'm just really weak. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, he turned it around.
Right, Asic, look at this gem. This is how we powered everything. This is your down payment. This is where you can start. Imagine Rosohna having this for all its items, all its artifacts. You're not going to get very far by yourself, but with the two of us, you will.
Is the point Kildra goes, to stop you there, I suspect such a decision is far outside of the former Shadow Hand's purview. Essex says, well, of course, I would clear it with the relevant authority. You will do no such thing, Essex. Barnes, is it? Your proposal is interesting and certainly one that should be brought to a higher, to those who can perhaps properly approve it, and maybe Essex, if you can be in some form of in charge or oversight. Your mind is not gone, if perhaps your judgment is. I shall take it to the council to have it be approved or not, and in the meantime, as insurance that you do not scurry away and return with the guard again, perhaps this time to blame us for something else that's not in our control, you and my son can watch this man together.
Roman looks upset as though he's just been told that he's like get detention with like the guy in school that he like hates him as father. I feel
I'm sure you both have a lot of catching up to do, and a lot of gloating that you surely missed.
While I agree that there needs to be some oversight on the large overdeveloped ego of certain mages, perhaps I am not the right candidate for that oversight.
Do you trust anybody else, Roman? And it's perfect. This way, he can't really blame us or you for it, because he's watching him with you. Or would you have your mother do it? Why?
No, I'll do it.
I'll summon Balthron.
Oh.
Say no more, father.
Well, that sounds promising, but there are a few stipulations, he turns to Kildra, kind of over Essex, that I have for this to work. Alright? Firstly, I'm going to need access to Vespin Chloras whenever I need it. If this requires me having access to a teleportation circle in whatever facility you put him in, you're going to give it to me, yes? Number 2, safety for Vespin. No torture, no funny business. He needs to believe that he is safe so I can do work on him. Anything you do will set him back, and you won't get anything in response from him. Number 3. Number 3.
Sorry, I'm gonna write these down.
I'll send them to you. Your
Okay.
cooperation in any of the healing strategies that I will use to try to bring him back from the brink. Whether that's facilities, whether that's illusion magic, whether that's whatever setup I require. It might even be a piano. He likes piano music. Whatever I need, you're going to help me do it so we can fix him.
As Kildra kind of
In
leans back.
oh, DM, may I?
Yeah.
In Barnes, in your head, you hear an Askor's voice again, just like, "You're on a roll. Just say gold."
Bonds is going to reply to Asko quietly in his mind and say, "No, we're going to get that another way."
Okay. So, just looking at the time and aware that I promised breaks at a certain time, as Kildra mulls over your proposal and thinks how to get it concluded, if you could send me those, I'll get it back. But for everybody else, we will take a quick 10-minute break. Let's say we'll be back at 8:45. Yeah, again, as you say, we may get to him on this session or not. We shall see, probably after this. But everyone else, thank you for playing. We'll see you in a bit, and thank you for watching. Brief recap of what just happened. For those of you who aren't watching, or those of you need catching up. The group settling into the Epithel household, waiting for the return of Kildra and Essek. Hayden had a little bit of a chat with Lanharath when possessing Aku's body, and suddenly passed out on the floor, got the group together, and found that Aku and Lanharath now seem to have switched. Although Lanharath, the rest of the group could now see him, leaving a lot of you to ponder, is this how it's always been? Has he always been here, you just couldn't see? And that perhaps to be resolved later. For now, at least, you know that Aku has returned. Kildra and Essek have returned, given you your reward, which seems to be the estate of Lord and Lady Byerlin, as well as keys to the city to a certain extent. And you have revealed Archmage Vespin Chloras talked Essek down off killing him, and seemed to have negotiated, or beginning to negotiate, the terms of which his knowledge and experience can be used. You have tempted Essek, although given his recent demotion, he may well still be put in charge of it, but it does not seem the decision is solely his to make anymore. Kildra seems to have offered to go and think, but is interested in what Barnes's terms are. So Barnes, first of all, he said access to Vespin Chloras whenever you want or need it. If this requires a teleportation circle, you will give it to me. Safety for Vespin Chloras, no torture, no funny business. Your cooperation in any of the healing strategies. In exchange, you will reveal the information you have, or he gives you, assuming it works.
Yes.
Kildra kind of sits up and goes, "You know, you ask for quite a lot of trust, given that I don't really know who you are.
I hope that your son can attest to my character. I fought with him and I encountered your other son, Alenia, and what he's unfortunately and tragically become. You must know I'm so sorry for what's happened there. But I've fought beside them and weathered the dangers with them on the way, and I hope you understand that at least in that measure, I'm somebody that can be depended on for your son's sake."
I understand that. I think if you're going to be part of his treatment, you would of course need access. Teleportation circle, though, you don't intend to stay.
Oh, I've only recently come back into the world. This is the first time I've been to a city, and believe me, I lived in the great floating city of Aor, so it's quite a change.
Essex ears prick up or
I need to see what's going on in this world, and I need to learn more about what happened to me, and some of that will come from Vespin, and some of it I think I just need to go out and discover about myself. And not to mention, it's going to take time to prepare the approach that I have planned for Vespin, actually. But thinking on it, I might need a few bits and pieces to really get going, so...
Well, take it from somebody whose both of his sons went off on a journey of self-discovery.
be careful. The world isn't all as we wish it was.
I
Now,
mean,
to your demands, I see no issue with allowing a single person such as you to have access to teleportation as well as ongoing treatment, so long as there is some way of checking in. Do you have a way of communicating with me long distance, or shall we provide one?
I can do it, yes. Although it'll be a drain on my energy, so I suppose if we get into trouble, then it might not always be priority. So if you have a way that I can do it without, expending my energy, that would be good.
Not a renewable one, but I suppose we
Alright.
can provide you with what we can in times of dire need. Secondly, and perhaps the more pertinent discussion, this experiment lasts only as long as the powers that be, myself, the Council, the Bright Queen, deem it so. We have your understanding that while you are attempting your treatments, we can't interfere. However, should this man pose any kind of threat or regain himself to the point that he might be, I want you to know that we reserve any and all rights to end this experiment.
Alright, I think we'll need to have a sit down and talk about what constitutes a threat on a sort of legal level, but generally I accept those terms. No, I don't want to bring back somebody dangerous into the world. That's not my intent, so. Threat versus perception.
Part
it,
of
that's
that
what I'm scared of.
is that would you wish any of these interrogations to be alone? Sessions, perhaps not interrogations.
Well, certainly insofar as I think I must generally be the only person in the room. I think otherwise it'll be quite a stressful experience for him. You see, he has bad experience with the spider sworn nature or folk of your kind. It makes him quite nervous for obvious reasons. I would appreciate the opportunity to speak with him unobserved, although I understand that this might not be the de facto.
Well, do you prohibit probing of his mind by magical means?
Some of it will probably come directly into his mind, so I suppose you won't be privy to that.
Sorry, you misunderstand me. Would reading his thoughts interrupt your elements?
Probably. Yes, if he detects an intrusion, he'd certainly see it as...
Very well. Do you consent to having yours read?
That's a question. And does this depend on that?
I suspect we would be more willing to progress further.
Surely you
Start
have
on-
nothing to hide from us, Barnes, while we assist you in achieving your goals.
I don't know what I have to hide. You see, Mr. Evertill, I don't remember my past. I don't remember how I died or what happened at the end. And while I'm saying this now as somebody that wants to heal, and I wouldn't want to be discovered to be somebody that wants to do anything other than that, I don't know, so it's quite a hard thing to give away, isn't it?
I mean, it is hard thing to give away. It's also hard to ask us to trust you on the basis of you hope.
Read his thoughts, and if it interferes, then we'll have to renegotiate.
Okay. I believe that would probably be acceptable. I'll take your offer and your assurances. I'm sure there'll be a great deal of discussion, but I can try to get you an answer. When do you plan on leaving, all of you? I can't imagine the rest of you are staying if you are not. Anyone?
Roman gestures to Hayden, or if he's sitting next to him, sort of like nudge him.
Sorry, what was the question?
What time would you be leaving or planning to leave, Hayden?
To go to
Emon. I
Emon.
believe that's what you said, Roman, right?
Correct, Father.
He looks really nervous and uncertain. I guess whenever the group is ready.
I believe it was their intention to leave as soon as possible to continue their errands elsewhere.
Very well. I shall try to have an answer for you by the evening, in which case we shall provide you with the portal you require, teleportation circle you require, and then you may leave, proceed on your own, assuming all goes well. In the
Thank you very
meantime,
much.
Essek, Roman, I leave this man in your charge.
Roman shoots an evil at Essek.
Well, that's an unexpected piece of business today. Didn't expect to be passing judgment on the Ring of the Calamity and negotiating with the long dead.
I must say, father, of all things that to have happened, I'm glad at least I was there to arrange his safe delivery into the dynasty's hands as opposed to, well, anywhere else.
Very true. He could be in any number of new places. Could you imagine him in Dalian Empire? Not worth thinking about.
Perhaps it would be like sending a hidden bomb into the Empire, the way that they rip out information from their captors.
Are they your enemies? Because if you want tools to use against them, Floating Safety of Air had great cannons, I hear. Really big ones. I never saw them.
Uneasy neighbors rather than enemies.
Great. Well, I'm sure Vaspin has a thing or two to say about that sort of thing. Great. Cool. Can't wait to work with you. Nice to meet you, Mr. Talus.
Well, before
this
you leave,
is Keldra you're talking to. Sorry.
No, I know, but he turns. He turns.
Oh,
to
okay,
Vaspin,
yeah.
Before you dismiss Essek too early, I believe he has some unfinished business with Hayden that he needs to resolve immediately.
In front of your parents?
Well, unless you'd rather wait for him to dispel the time ravage spell that he put on Hayden the last time we were here.
Okay, I guess that's just out on the table then.
Roman's saying this with a smug smile, like he knows, even though he knows why Essek did it, and at the time he was like fine with it, but now he knows it might get Essek in trouble in front of his dad. He's like,
Get fucked.
Essek, we really must learn where you. We really must discover where you learn these magics from.
Fascinating, really.
Essex kind of looks a little down and kind of mumbles. I think I'm still missing something that belongs to me.
Yeah, do I just give it to you right here?
Everything else is already on the table. Come on.
We put it back together, didn't we? We did.
We did.
Yeah.
So it's empty.
Yeah, but he didn't know that.
He doesn't know that. No.
Hayden will kind of glance around the table, and in particular, actually be checking kind of Zug, Asgore, and Aku's kind of reactions when he pulls the box out. And then he'll place the 9-sided box on the table in front of Essek and say, delivered as requested. My employer does require a receipt confirming that you have received it as well.
Yes, he kind of takes it. You see him kind of magic up this parchment, kind of brands it with a symbol, hands it over to you. You see there's like an ear, always like a signature at the bottom with a symbol of House Thalos. And kind of as you kind of take it, you see him kind of hold out his hand, and it seems to reconstruct like an hourglass in it, and the sands seem to like, they're probably about halfway done. They seem to like pull back out of it. And it's never felt there. There's ever-present weight has almost lifted off of Hayden's shoulders. Your movements are slightly quicker. Your mind is sharper again.
Oh god.
As it kind of smiles at you, like fairly clearly unhappy.
I will need to learn how to do that one though.
I'm not. It was a necessary precaution to ensure he returned. And Kilda goes, magic such as that is only necessary when approved, Essek. Has not any events of the last 30 days taught you any kind of caution. You know, maybe it's for the best if you don't have anything to do with this man. That's just, I'll show you where I found it. It's in part of my old. I gotta say, it's part of my old collection. My father left me before he began his new life and has yet to be found. It's okay. I will look through the rest of my stuff, Roman. I promise there's nothing else nefarious.
Maybe I'll be the decider of that.
That's it, kind of like you can see him like almost cracking his knuckle. So, like it's a very un-Essek like gesture as he looked particularly unhappy. Very well. Kind of like levitates Vespin up. Well, Roman, what to do with this one?
There are a few comfortable rooms within the Dungeons of Penance I feel might be appropriate. Keeps him safe from others as much as it keeps others safe from him.
Sounds useful and will help alter his perception of time.
The Dungeon
Barnes,
of
was
Penance.
it?
Yeah, the Dungeon of Penance sounds pretty dramatic. It's not violent penance, is it?
It's as much penance as we deem appropriate at any given time.
Just to be very clear, he has to feel safe. He spent a millennia in distinct unsafety in the cucumber, as they call it, so shackles and the like, make it as
You have my personal
padded as you
guarantee
can.
that it will be as comfortable as possible, and also the name is a little dramatic, but isn't that the point of a place like that, to seem a bit scary?
True.
It will perhaps aid you as well. Time is malleable in that place. If you needed to run faster or slower for him, whatever aids his treatment.
That is useful. He needs time. All right. Well, perhaps I might also communicate a treatment plan as well, or write it up in a document and send it over. Stipulate some sort of time gating.
But if it's still in my purview, I await your communication. I'll prepare that teleportation circle for you if you wouldn't mind stepping with me.
Right.
As it kind of walks off with Barnes following with Vespin kind of floating ever so slightly behind, and I presume Roman going with.
Yeah, so Roman will stand to leave, and look back at everyone else. For better or worse, I'm glad to have met you all. And okay, bye.
No, he doesn't date. No. That's not how he goes out. Come on.
Well, so I just left, so I'm just kind of like.
Oh, you
Yeah,
were saying
fuck
bye
you.
to Sai.
Yeah, I didn't say that. It was just like he was saying goodbye, and then it was just like
Sai disconnected.
I disconnected. Okay.
Oh wait, there's Sai.
Yes. For better or worse, I'm glad to have met you all, and I hope you know that if you are in need of assistance, well, you know how and where to find me now. And he puts his hand on Hayden's shoulder and sort of like smiles and like nods at him, gives it a little squeeze. I wish you all the best in the rest of your travels, and goodbye. And I guess he just leaves them all.
After, as you walk away, you hear Ascor call after you, "Make your house proud."
As much as I can in poverty, Ascor. I will do my best. He says in his head as well.
Okay. The rest of you, I will say after to cut it all short, Barnes, I will say that the agreement is broadly reached with the understanding you get most of what you want, the attention you, so long as it does not interfere with the treatment. Vespin's mind would occasionally be read to assess both how the treatment's going, but also threat, I suppose. You will have a teleportation circle, and obviously we'll talk about a treatment plan, but that is broadly agreed to. And the fact that they very much have the authority to decide at which point this experiment is no longer prudent for the dynasty.
Before I leave Vespin with them, I'd probably do another like calm emotions and just convey this to him, explain the situation, tell him to cooperate, be like, yo, trust me. And tell him to expect some occasional mind reading, so it's not a nasty surprise.
I think also before Barnes leaves as well, Roman will get Essek to try out some like illusion magic on them both to make them appear human, and then like introduce themselves to Vespin to see if he can see through the illusion, to notice, and to see if that's to Barnes's satisfaction, to whether he's comfortable with them in the room now as well.
Okay, he does not seem to be able to see through it. He reacts very differently to when you walk in.
In that case, as he kind of leaves Roman, he'll turn to him and say, Roman, thank you, I really appreciate it. You don't have to do this, but you are, and I really can't thank you enough, and, well, I'll see you soon, I suppose, but...
Indeed, and in the interest of candor, Barnes, while I am absolutely willing to aid you in your journey of self-discovery, as well as figuring out the bloody hell is going on with this man, it's only fair to let you know that my full vested interest is in the health and prosperity of my people and my city, and I just thought you should know that.
Prioritize your brother and prioritize your people. That's the important thing. Whatever I learn about myself, I'll handle it, or our friends will. I hope I can say our. I hope I've earned that right.
He puts his hand on his shoulder. For now. He winks at him.
And I hope I don't lose it. Have a good one. I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
He'll pause and be like, is your Archmage friend single by any chance?
Get out, Barnes!
Bye.
No, he's in love with the ginger boy. All right. So, those of you of a slightly more perceptive nature, I would say Hayden and Aku. I'm sorry, Askor, I'm not going to say you particularly give a shit if Zug is down. You might wonder why Zug perhaps looks so downtrodden, even if the fridge has gone. As you kind of get ready to leave, he perhaps a bit slower, a bit more grunty, barely eaten half the food he's been offered.
No, something's wrong. Everyone knows.
Red flag, red flag, red flag.
He keeps looking at you, like just like dejectedly, like over and over again.
Zug, are you alright?
I mean, yeah, fine.
Don't seem like yourself.
Well, maybe I'm different now.
What, because of the fridge? The fridge?
It could have been because of the fridge, or it could have been because of anything. Maybe the jar. Maybe the breakfast. I don't know.
Do you want some mayonnaise?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't.
Insight check.
Hayden's gonna like look at Aku and be like, something's not right here.
You actually not want the mayonnaise?
He doesn't want the mayonnaise.
Aku's gonna like kind of like turn to Hayden's gonna turn to Aku and be like, do you think he's possessed?
Aku's eyebrows are pretty high. He looks very confused and concerned for Zug. I am actually rolling an insight check, yeah? Can I?
Can
Yeah,
if you
go for
want,
it.
Yeah.
Okay, my insight's shit, but
Zug has a +1 to
oh,
deception, but
17.
he has no interest in deceiving.
I think that's the
people.
highest insight roll
Yeah.
I've done this whole campaign.
Okay,
Indeed.
so what would somebody rolling 17 perceive about Zug, I
Zug
suppose?
just seems a little bit self-conscious and a bit like down. Like he just doesn't seem like he's got his shoulders are a bit slumped. He just looks a little bit kind of like he's had the wind taken out of his sails, you know?
This is the most upsetting thing that's happened this
I
entire
know.
campaign.
I'm distraught.
Wow.
Nobody messes with Zug, man.
Right, here we gotta fuck up.
Um,
Makes it look better again.
But yeah, that's it. That's you can't quite perceive like the exact reason, unless you've sussed it from language. There's no other obvious body language outside of that.
he kind of looks back at Aku and looks back at Zug and... Man, where's Barnes?
He kind of turns to Aku and he goes,
Oh no! Oh no!
We've
Did Aku leave?
Aku just
He just
leave.
bang, just disappears into
I walk away.
Perfectly timed, actually.
I'm sorry, I
Oh
have
my
no
God,
idea
That's
what's
actually
going on.
funny.
It was so
But anyway,
What
comedy
did I
aside.
miss?
No, nothing. You just literally, I was about to speak and you just, boom. Yeah, he
You
turns
missed
to
you
Aku
leaving.
and he just says, he just goes, "Have you always been spying on me?"
Who does he say that to?
To Aki, he says to Aki, "Have you always been spying on me?"
What? Aku is gonna respond to Zug only. What are you referring to? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Now you'd say that. Now everyone else is around.
Zug, what are you talking about?
I was just walking through the halls, minding my own business, and then I looked at a mirror, and I just thought, maybe I might have got a little bit bigger than I was before, and I was just thinking that to myself, and then all of a sudden, you knock into my head, and you say, "Of course I am, you dipshit." I'm glad I gave the fridge away.
Nice.
Aku
I mean,
is...
you could have just said nicely, like, didn't have to just jump in when I was feeling particularly vulnerable.
Aku looks like he's trying to keep a straight face. He kind of walks over to Zug and awkwardly pats his still noodly jelly arms on to Zug's shoulder
Zug's like staring up at him like Tyler 1.
and says, "Look, Zug, I think you're misunderstanding something here. I was speaking to the group when we were outside. I never spoke to you individually. In fact, I haven't until just now.
Wait, what?
I think that might have been unlucky timing concerning my outburst at Lanharath, not you, Zug."
He kind
I-
of disagrees. Wait, you all went outside and you didn't invite me?
I was trying to shout constantly and you never responded.
Shout! I was like on the other side of the building. How am I supposed to hear someone shouting?
Why else did the telepathy, spell?
Oh.
The message spell?
Oh. He kind of looks at his ring and he goes, oh.
Yeah.
I'm not used to your particular style of knock, I'm afraid. I'm sorry.
Knock?
I thought it was someone else. Yeah, you
Oh.
know, when someone talks into your head and you hear a knock and you have to say, "Yes, you can come in."
I am not aware of that sensation, but I will take your word for it.
Aku side-eyes the rest of the party, like, seriously worried for Zug at this point.
Oh, I mean, You know how it is, and someone tries to speak into your mind, and then you just hear like a knock, and then you kind of get a feeling of what kind of person. I feel like I can smell them, and then you give them permission, and they come and they talk to you in your head.
Zug, as far as I'm aware, that's some pretty next level magic.
What? It's not magic. That's just I can't do
Yeah,
magic.
I've
That's
been
just how it
trying to
is.
learn how to block voices from coming into my head for ages, and I've still not made any progress on it.
Kind of scratches his head. He goes, "Ah, I mean, you mean they don't knock? That's quite rude,
No.
actually."
Yeah. It's kind of rude, especially when you're on the toilet.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I think you guys should knock before talking to Hayden. That's actually quite rude.
I don't
And
thi-
everyone hears in their head, well, sorry, it's my only option.
See, he knocked. Didn't you hear that?
No.
Aku looks Zug up and down. And, gives a bicep flex as he pats Zug on the back and goes, "Look, Zug, there's nothing wrong with your
That
physique."
no,
It's
as Aku is speaking.
Sorry, ever so quickly. It's slightly
Go on.
disconcerting as the other slightly light ethereal figure also taps Zog on the shoulder while Aku does it. Anyway, sorry, go on, Ascor.
It was during that moment. I cast a cantrip using the subtle spell, and I use minor illusion. I'm gonna say, and all of us in one direction. Hear a light knock.
Yeah, all in one
Does
direction.
anyone
You
know-
hear?
Zog just thinks in his head, you can come in.
Yeah, you will hear the knock because it's like a sound that has been created. It's not like a saving throw or anything. You just hear a knock off the side to the side.
That's right. I think I heard it. The knock.
Aku looks at Lanharath suspiciously, looks around, and sort of sits down like he's contemplating what the fuck is going on with his life right now.
Does that mean you always knock? That's to you.
You hear that? Or...
No, that's all of you. That's what. Yeah, Lanharath says it out loud to Aku.
Well, I can't do it, so I can't knock anyway.
Have you tried knocking?
I mean, I can't do magic. I told you.
Zug, you don't know you have these latent powers until either heads around you explode or you try. You've got to try. Zug, knock.
He kind of looks a little bit a bit embarrassed for a second. He goes, I have tried. It's I can't do it. I can't. I think about it and it just doesn't go anywhere. I don't know how you guys do it.
When was the last time you thought about it?
Yesterday.
And as Zug was paused to think about it, again, drop a sorcery point, subtle spell. Astrid goes, now there you go.
What? Did it sound like a knock again?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, but that was someone else knocking, not me. I didn't knock that.
How do you know you thought about knocking? I saw your face thinking. We were talking about knocking. And then that sound. I mean, that's a louder knock than I could ever make.
Kind of pauses and just like, oh, so maybe I need to ask. And he kind of closes his eyes and he kind of concentrates. And if anyone, obviously no one can read his thoughts because you're not allowed to, but in his head he's just saying, may I come in? For context.
I love how
Those of you
Astro's
sit there.
gassing him up as well.
Love that you sit there and you just see Zug's brow furrowed, obviously concentrating deeply.
I thought I heard something. Maybe it was a knock. Maybe
Oh,
it was...
His face lights up a little bit. He goes, oh, maybe I'm learning.
Maybe you have the talent, my friend. Watch this space.
You sound like a like one of those like guys that does like a 7-step program in an MLM.
Exactly who Asco is, bro. He's one of those fucking entrepreneurial YouTubers.
I couldn't do magic when I started,
Hmm.
but after these 7 easy steps, I could, and so can you.
Exactly.
Okay. With you guys do that, I'd say at this point Barnes returns, just having secured the information and agreement he needed. With you can now add a teleportation circle to let's say the guardhouse of the Dungeon of Penance. The rest of you, as you kind of begin packing up, thinking about setting off, thinking about the gold you have, your minds can't help wandering to the problems you have in Emon. Aku, the clasp may or may not still be after you for quite a significant sum of money. It's slightly lessened, but you don't know what their reaction is going to be to you returning, as well as everything else kind of happening.
But
Yes.
did we get paid already?
Yes, you got
or-
180,000 gold split.
So
Who's in charge of distributing this?
Well, it's
merchandise?
ultimately it's
I think it's Aku.
Yes, that is. So
Oh,
discussing with the party, paying off your debt. Zug, there were wanted posters for your arrest. You haven't been home since you were dishonorably discharged and
He doesn't know that.
disappeared. Well, no, you were true. You were sent home on an airship, and you didn't quite know why, but you know there are wanted posters for you.
I mean, for context, he got sent home and he never made it home. So
True.
as far as he's aware, like this is an extended leave.
However, you have seen the
hasn't?
wanted posters for you up.
He has, but he has not quite put 2 and 2 together.
Right. Okay, that's completely fair. Zug doesn't think about it. Ascor, you do think that whilst going home, you obviously have these powers, which you feel you're in a lot better control of than you once were, but you may have had assassins sent after you. There is a doppelganger of you. You don't know what the lay of the land is like in Emon. Barnes probably have the least concerns about going to Emon. It's a new city. It's probably a shithole like here. Compared to what you're used to. And Hayden, well, I think we've discussed Hayden's problems, perhaps going back to Emon. So it might be worth thinking about what your plans are when you get to Emon, what your needs are, and what your potential concerns might be before you disappear off.
Have we confirmed yet as a party how we're getting to Emon? I can't remember if we've discussed it or not.
He's teleporting, no?
Yeah, I think you're teleporting.
Who is
Like
teleporting
they said in the
us?
chat they were going to give us a circle, not the chat, in the whatever. The pie we just had.
They don't have a teleport circle here to Emon.
But Ascor has teleport the spell.
But Ascor
so-
has teleport
yeah.
the spell.
And he knows that place well, so.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
cool.
well, he also knows that he's not had a long rest since he's cast that spell.
So you can rest and wait until the morning after.
Guys, I'm so excited. I can't wait to go to another shit city. It's gonna be awesome. I feel great. Like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders, proverbially. Not having to drag around my sad little. Well, Emon, what's it like? Are we going to have fun? It is okay to say calm,
Well-
right? I've just made an assumption.
Before we
that's
go
fine.
into
Yeah,
detail,
um,
I'd like to ask you, Barnes, your accent. Does everybody from your time and place have that same accent?
Well, it depends where they grew up. I mean, I'm from Aor. This is an Aorian accent. I mean, Vaspin just, he's from Zemniaz, so no. But if
I
you found
see.
any, revenants hanging around from the ruins of Aor, wherever that may happen to be, do you know where that is? Maybe it'd be cool to go back to the ruins and stand over the city I grew up in.
I'm sorry, a revenant? That sounds very ominous.
Right, yeah, well, I suppose that's what I am, back when, that's what we were, but no, anyway. Just my accent from Aor.
I'm sorry to slightly edit that. Barnes, I suppose you wonder how close that mysterious itching in your brain is to Emon.
So, where is it, Emon? Where are we going?
Well, it's not only the center of the world, and where anybody is, well, an Emon.
But from here, like geographically, where are we going?
I mean, like west, I guess? I don't really know. I've got kind of lost on the way here.
Like really west? Like very west, far west?
I mean, I would have to look at a map, but I think it's quite west.
Great. Quite west sounds pretty good. So
Mm.
what are we doing when we get there?
Helping Ascor with his issues with his dad, his doppelganger.
Oh, pretty good at daddy issues if you have those.
Oh, hold on. It goes way beyond that. That's okay. Maybe we can talk about this in private, perhaps. But that's besides the point. What I really mean is that, well, I've had attempts made on my life. And news I've heard from an ambassador is that seemingly there is some kind of what I can only imagine is a terrible imitation of myself taking my place at my father's side in Emon. Makes no sense
don't
to
you
me.
worry about that, Ascor. We'll kill him. Don't you worry.
I don't think
I
we
hope
can
so.
do that. Is that killing's not fine in the society, is it? We don't do that now. We're
I
not
mean,
that
if they're like
savage.
evil doppelgangers, I mean, come on, he's clearly breaking at least one law.
But we'll need evidence, right? You still do evidence, right? You have to prove guilt and prove
Evidence?
I
things.
mean,
Oh, what are you talking about? I'm just thinking we spirit this thing away and destroy it.
we have
Alright.
ample evidence. I mean, we've got the real one
Down
right
to
here.
a molecular level.
But you think
I've-
your father knows that he's a doppelganger? What if he's planted there or placed there?
Well, the question is, will he be able to tell the difference once it's gone?
Well, true. But
Ah.
either way, we need to assess the situation. This is so exciting. It's like I'm in a novel. Oh my goodness.
You're so smart, Ascor.
He is. Okay, so we need to gain evidence on your father's potentially machinations with this doppelganger thing.
Well, hold on. You assume too much. We need to establish the facts.
Right.
Hopefully my father is, well, he's a troublesome figure at best. Very fickle. But what we need to do, I believe, is establish how much he knows.
All right.
Does he know this doppelganger? I hope not. I don't hold out much in the way of affection for my father towards me, but I would like to know whether he knows. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
I don't. I never had a father.
No, I understand that. makes
It's
perfect
ridiculous,
sense.
Zug. Oh, hold on, Zug. What do you mean you have a father?
I
Do
think
you
he
want to
died.
talk about it? Oh.
Well, then you
No, it's
had
fine.
one, and he went.
I mean, everyone has a father. How do you? I mean, you can't be born otherwise. But you know, like I didn't know.
Well, that's fine. You just made it sound kind of spiritual, like you were some kind of messiah.
That's not what I got
You and me
from
both,
that
Zug.
answer.
What's a
But-
what's a messiah?
Like your sparkly friend, the one with the halo. He sort of seemed like one of them.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
say
my
that.
friend.
Means Russia.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's a messiah.
Kinda.
He's not a messiah, he's just a very naughty boy.
Naughty boy!
Alright, so assuming we're about to be embroiled in the plot of a political thriller. Oh, I can't wait for this.
On Barnes. God damn it, you're enjoying this way too much. This is
I'm
my
sorry.
life we're
I'll
talking
be
about
solemn
here.
about it, yes, it's terrible. So we need to establish a base of operations from which we can establish the facts before we make our move. Right?
I was thinking a 5-star hotel, but sure.
All right. So we get to Emon. Are we sneaking around? Is anybody on the run from the authorities or in trouble
Well,
with the law or
I don't think so.
in horrendous debt or
Oh, we haven't been there in so
That
long.
was very
They probably won't even
specific.
recognize us.
does Zug not know that there's wanted posters out for him? Out of character question, by the way.
No, he doesn't.
he does, doesn't he?
He
Well, he
saw
did.
it, but it didn't really like it could have been anyone. Like it didn't, you know. He didn't read it that much.
All
Like, he
orcs
just got
look the
spirited
same.
away. He just got spirited away by the clasp at one point, and then got really drunk, and he doesn't really remember
Oh my
what happened
God.
before then.
Have the
And then
party
other than that,
seen
he's-
him?
I don't know. How perceptive are
Yes, the party did see them.
you?
Aiden knows about them, but I don't know if everyone else does.
Yeah, because you're probably quite perceptive of these kind of things, because you have to normally worry about the
Yeah.
authorities, whereas Zug doesn't, so he's just
Um,
completely
Lauren, check Discord.
Zug, I don't know if you remember when we were in Silvercut.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
I remember some things.
Well, back when we were in Silvercut, you had wings, right?
Yes, I did. Oh, that was a weird time, wasn't it?
So maybe that's why you weren't hassled, but I'm pretty sure I remember seeing wanted posters that kind of looked like you.
Hey, excuse me. Not all half-orcs look the same.
I don't mean that, but it had like your name on it, cause it said for abandonment or
Abandonment?
of post.
You're a fugitive, Zug. No way.
Post?
That's crazy. Why?
I don't even send mail.
No, I mean you used to be a guard, right?
I mean, I still am, technically. I don't know.
Don't know if you are anymore, buddy.
Oh, you think they fired me? Oh no.
When did you last show up to work?
I think you're more than fired.
Ah,
I'd say we've been running this campaign for about half a year in game time.
when did the airship crash?
6 months
you
ago
wouldn't know
in-game
that,
time.
Yeah.
Zug, I don't know if you know this, but they do arrest people when they disappear. and do a
Wait, you
comeback when
abandoned
you're
your
a guard.
post?
I didn't abandon my post. The airship crashed. I've been making my way back there. I mean, we've taken a few detours here and there, of course, but I'm sure they'll understand.
Did you report it
Look.
to anybody?
I mean, how am I supposed to report it to somebody? I mean, I'm stuck in the middle of
I
nowhere. We've dropped out.
assumed,
We've
Zug.
been running for our lives for the past however long. How am I
Zug,
gonna
hold
take a-
on. I assumed you had reported it when we got to the Silvercut Crossroads.
So.
Doug will remember telling the nice elf lady who later took Ascot hostage.
I mean, I spoke to some of the authorities. I didn't send any letters. Maybe I should have done.
So you've not shown up to work in 6 months.
I assume they think I'm dead. Maybe.
Sounds
I
like
mean,
it
the
seems you
airship did
abandoned your
crash.
post.
That's not very fair. I could have died.
You know
Usually
what? I'm not sure how much detail we need to go into, but we've established at least a fact that, at once time, Zug was a wanted man, may still be. And if we can't establish the fact here for brotherly conversation, then we should perhaps just assume that it's still the case.
What
I
I'm
think we're jumping to conclusions, to be honest. I think it'll be fine. I'll just go in and I'll explain myself. It'll be absolutely fine.
what I'm just suggesting is maybe you wear your disguise when we first get there until we check to see if the posters are still up and if the warrant is still out, and if it's gone, then you're good and you can go outside looking like
Well,
yourself. But maybe
That
we should
seems
be
like I'm trying
cautious.
to hide. If anything, I should walk in and go explain myself immediately to the guard captain.
Zug, do you know what normally happens to people who have abandoned their post?
Yeah, we hanged them.
Yeah. You sure you
Oh.
want to risk that?
Kind of like pauses and stares at the wall.
They might
Oh,
ask
no.
why it's taken 6 months for you to check in.
Oh no. Oh, they're gonna want to kill me.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
hang
no.
people.
I mean, yeah, of course, do you not?
Barbarism.
What?
Wow.
I mean, what else are you supposed to do to rapists and murderers? They deserve much worse.
Put them in prison.
Waste of resources and taxpayer money, if you ask me.
Barnes hanging is
Hold
quite
on, Zug.
tame in this world.
Wow.
You know what is actually a much more of a mercy than what they do in other cities?
So much to be sad about now.
You should wait until you hear about the bronze bull. Huh.
I'm not going to ask. So, essentially, we need to hide when we get to Emon and secretly find stuff out about Asgore and, deal with the wanted man situation on the
Now,
down low.
Barnes, you sound like you're enjoying it again.
Asgore, your father has
Solemn-
influence over the
solemnity.
city. Surely if we talk to him, he can clear my name.
Well, look, Zug, we need to establish the facts first. We don't know how deep this goes. We have those creatures that are responsible for my power, and a little crackle between his finger and his thumb, that are responsible for this. I don't know if he was... I don't know anything. Just the facts I do know give me suspicions of all sorts. It feels as if anything could be possible. Maybe he knew. I don't know. I've lost a lot of nights sleeping about it.
Who knows how deep the Aboleth hole goes?
So you don't think we can talk to him?
What I know, Zug, is that I do not know. And based upon that, I'm going to choose caution. We're going to choose caution.
Ah, okay. Then maybe I should use the hat. Ah,
We need a secret base.
yeah, I don't think I can go home. I mean, I couldn't have put you up
Don't
there
go
anyway.
home.
I live in the barracks.
Yes to the secret base. Yes to the 5-star secret base.
All right, great. Let's establish a 5-star secret base. I need to go shopping. So,
Well, look, if we pull our resources 180,000 gold, I think we can... There's a smallish castle I'm aware of we could put up a little bid for.
do we get that much? I was wondering if it was enough for food, but that's good to hear. Property doesn't
Well,
really
that's
sell for very
just the
much, does it?
property itself. Unfortunately, there is the maintenance, there's the staffing, and then for everybody's silence. Now I'm thinking it's probably not such a great idea.
Oh, Barnes, you could buy so much food with that amount of gold. I
Like
know
how
this.
much?
I know a few great places.
I might
Like-
have a
like-
more sensible option. If we want a secret base.
Let's have it. I'm so excited. I mean, I'm not excited, I'm just curious.
Solemn.
Solemnly curious.
What have you got in mind, Aku?
Just
Yeah.
an acquaintance of mine.
Oh. Friends
That's so
always help.
mysterious. It's so cool.
It's problematically mysterious. He turns to Bonds. It's problematically mysterious.
I'm
Where we're going, we
problematically
need to know.
mysterious.
No, you're just problematic, sir.
Oh, true.
What I'm trying to establish is that Aku, this okay, it was very dramatic. Out of a novel, perhaps, what you said, but I'm really curious to know, is this place going to be safe? Is it affiliated with the mafias? Come on, you got to give us something.
We can't be affiliated with the mafia. I'm there to clear my name. I can't do more crime.
Ku just looks at Zug with a dead stare as he says we cannot be affiliated with the mafia.
Yeah.
And kind of waits for him to just process that a bit harder. Turns away and says,
Nothing.
well, do you seriously think anywhere is safe in Emon with... And he points to Zug. And he points to Asgore. And... Well, just
It's
the matter
fine.
that I might owe a couple of people some amount of gold.
Hey, look, if we stay away from the trade district, then nobody's gonna recognize me, and then he starts to lift out a bunch of different districts, and then oh yeah, I was posted in that one as well at one point.
Not me this time.
I feel like there aren't many districts actually where I could probably go.
Where is the secret
no.
mysterious acquaintance, Aku? What are they like? Is it underground?
Let me know if you need more information.
What did you say, sorry?
I said, let me know if you need more information.
I trust you implicitly. I just want to know. I'm excited.
Well, they're an acquaintance of mine that owns a shop. quite straightforward, really. I don't know what you want me to explain, except for it's in Abdar's Promenade.
We can live in a shop. That's so. We
Wait,
can
wait,
pretend to work
DM,
there.
Well,
I
we
imagine
can
I would
hide.
recognize this particular place.
Yes.
What kind of
Uh,
vibes do I get from this?
Abdal's Promenade is a large open-air market district that dominates kind of the eastern side of Emon. There's pretty much a constant stream of kind of traveling circuses, shows, festivals that happen in it, with kind of shops ranging along the side that do incredibly well. It is a place where probably the majority of the travel comes in and out of Emon, and it's also a place where you could easily see someone's face and never see them again in your life.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's the perfect place to hide. Not that we
Right there.
are hiding forever, but just temporarily while we figure out what to do.
Right, Asgore, let's go right now, immediately.
Oh, hold on. That is intriguing, Aku. I mean, that's a great idea. You're usually so quiet. Who knows what's going on in there? But ultimately, I'm dying to know. I have to know who you're indebted to and why.
You have a gambling addiction.
Help
Well,
with that.
You can't be a paladin with a gambling addiction.
You can. You just need to work through it.
I feel like it's got to be somewhere in the rules.
I was transporting a large amount of goods when our airship crashed, and my buyers were rather angry about that, and my employers, for that matter. So I owe the gold for everything that was lost, which you might consider unfair, as I do, but
That is unfair.
exactly, Zug.
Aku-
I'm so glad you
Do
agree
not
with me.
have insurance.
Barnes doesn't know.
Aku kind of glances at Barnes and says, "Yeah, that's not a this world kind of thing. The insurance is something from the past."
Askel kind of just goes,
Oh,
huh.
shit.
And you hear Aku in your head telepathically. What was it that you lost, Snood?
Did you just call it snood?
Because a placeholder name for whatever it is, it's called Snus.
I feel like that's
Snood.
exactly what Asco would have said, right?
So accidentally in character.
Is that the is that the marijuana?
It's a college nickname for what it is.
Yeah, the
Cocaine.
devil's lettuce.
Is that the snoot?
Yeah.
Ascor, I had sued along with many other goods.
Wait, how much are we talking?
Well, at least 60,000 gold.
And no one can hear this or really probably even necessarily ascertain that we're having this conversation. But anyone who happens to be looking at Askel's face that time will probably notice a little tear just silently make its way down his cheek. Brings himself back to his senses. Aku, you're in deep shit.
Aku just folds his arms.
Wells probably notices the tear with high passive perception and says, "Is that for your father? If these run deep, then we need to get it out."
Barnes, we'll get there.
Okay.
Quick
I'm here for you, buddy.
Quick point of clarification. Did Aku speak about the drugs they lost out loud? Or I'm assuming this is all telepathic?
Yeah, that bit was.
And did he only say that to Asker, or did he say it to the group?
Erin, I think you might have missed that that Aku can literally no longer talk.
Okay, so Aku's mute
Yeah, you can't
again.
talk.
So
There's mute.
did Aku? Sorry, I meant did Aku only telepathically
Only
talk
it's-
about the drugs to Asgore, or did he
Yeah.
like group chat to us?
No, only to Asgore.
Okay, cool. Noted.
There's
I
all
mean-
these logistical concerns. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it would be pretty obvious for, like, you know, Hayden to put 2 and 2 together that Aku owed a lot of money to the clasp, and that was what he was referring to.
Hayden knows what's going on. I'm just thinking about complications later. We're good. Let's move on.
Now, these are all reasonable concerns. I just have family beyond my father, and well, let's just say I have better relationships with some of them than others. And you can tell he's sort of holding something back.
What sort of relationships are we talking about? Can you trust them?
Well, perhaps I can trust some of them. Depends. My father's not just influential in property or defense or resources or politics, or probably about 35 seconds goes past of him listing things, or water supplies, but you know, he's very influential in terms of he's something of an icon within our family. He represents the continuity, the line. So, if I were to say, perhaps he has some exceptional influence even over the most independent of us. Would that make sense?
It does. So perhaps within your family it runs the risk that your father has them in the palm of their hand. So maybe it's your father's enemies that we need to turn to for support.
All right, stop enjoying it.
I'm definitely not enjoying it, he says with a smile as he
In-
sips a cup of tea.
Uh,
I'm sorry, you'll have to forgive me. After the day I've had and the discoveries I've made about myself and Vespin fluorescent seeding, this is just, it's quite nice to have the focus shifted.
Oh, that's
well, I
understandable.
appreciate your enthusiasm.
I can't wait to
But
solve your
please.
problems. That's what I'm excited about.
I can tell. And my concern is that they perhaps require a slight more amount of nuance than you're willing to supply.
If it's nuance you need, I'll provide it. Don't worry. But anyway, this is beside the point. We don't have the information yet. We need to get the information first. So we need to
True.
get to Emon.
Well, didn't they say something
Exactly.
about teleporting us?
Right. So we'll get there. We'll go to Aku's cool, mysterious friend in the secret shop of wonders in the promenade of dreams or whatever it's called. We'll get there, establish how safe we are, and investigate.
Sounds grand to me.
So, a
Just as
quick
a note,
head
though,
count.
Can I just
Zug?
ask the teleporting? It's not. It's safe, right? We're not going to end up in the wrong place again. It keeps happening to us.
Well, Asgore, you did it pretty neatly last time.
Asco seems a little uncomfortable, but sort of eager to sort of correct the record. Yeah, well, actually, I think the last teleportation was somewhat auspicious in the sense that, well, I was somewhat familiar with the place. In addition to that, I had access to objects of the place. This is different. A market? I've heard of it. I'd never go there. Nobody under a certain income goes there, okay?
He's right.
Alright, well surely you can get us to nearby and we can just illusion our way through and get there quickly.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't teleport right into the middle of the market. That might be a little bit. It might draw some attention.
Somewhere nearby, it's your city, you must know it well.
I know.
Well, I know the center particularly well. I know the leafy suburbs particularly well. I know some of the educational establishments, of course, the financial establishments, a few
Right.
fortifications, of course.
It might be time for me to do perhaps a little summary of Emon on with a semi-holding off until you arrived. However, Emon, as those of you who would have been there know, those of you perhaps similar would have as well. So Aku, Zug, Ascor, Hayden, most of this is second knowledge to you. Obviously, Barnes would be unaware of this, whether or not Lawrence New Carried would also be fully aware of all of this. Emon is the cultural heart of the kind of human civilization on tal'dorei. It's very much the nexus of politics, justice, industry, and education. The main part of the city is surrounded by a thick 60-foot high wall that stretches from the eastern fields all the way around to the western shore, accessible only through these gates, port, and by skyship. Around the city is kind of dense farmland which spills far beyond the wall to the north and south. Within the walls, it's divided into smaller districts. Winding their way across the cities are a series of canals called the Ozamit waterways that allow for faster travel and transportation throughout the city. As discussed, Abadar's Promenade is one of the main trading districts in the eastern side of Emon, so named for a Marquesian spicemonger who helped fund the city's original construction. However, in recent years, there has been some discussion as to whether or not it should be renamed since somebody else committed to the rebuilding of it following the attack of the Chroma Conclave. Notable shops are places like Gilmore's Glorious Goods, the Laughing Lamia Inn, Anvil Gate, Azealia Street Park, and the Promenade Stockade. Then there's the Central District, which is the large residential area in the center of Emon. Most of the merchants live here. It's kind of between the Cloudtop District, which is where the gentry live and the ruling classes, as well as much of the ruling title, and as well as some mage facilities. So that's kind of in the center. The Cloudtop District is at the hill at the very center of the Emon. There is a secondary 100-foot high wall acting as a line of defense between this district and the rest of it. It was heavily damaged.
There should be.
In 810 PD during the Chroma Conclave's attack. It is also the place where Thordak made his roost. And therefore, it is the place where the Scar of the Cinder King is accessible. It contains the former palace.
Kind of like the city. That's kind of like the City of London Wall, is it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's now the place where the palace is, the Citrine Garrison is, which is the military planning hub, a few houses, a large ivory tower dedicated to mages, where the skyships leave and enter, as well as, of course, the crater left by Thordak. There is the Temple District on the northern side, which kind of lives up to its name. The main temple, largest cathedrals there belonging to Erathis, Justice, and Bahamut. There's also, surprisingly, the arena there, the Gosbral Ring, which is located within the Temple of the Stormlord, Korg, to some of you. There is the Military District, which is one of the smaller quarters, located on the north side of Emon. The Eretrite District, which is the southeastern side of Emon, which is kind of the center for higher education, containing things like the Alabaster Lyceum, the Traverse Junction, and the Black Swan. The Alabaster Lyceum being kind of the central, largest, and most accomplished institute of arcane study on the continent. The Traverse Junction being kind of the travel and nexus teleportation circles that take you all of this. Ascor, you'd know that if you were able to access here, you appearing out of thin air here would definitely be noticed, but it would be the least suspicious. As in, like, people would notice you were here, but the fact you teleported here would be expected, if that makes sense. There's a cemetery district, which makes sense, a small district on Emon's west side. There's the port, and obviously towards the outer wall, you have the area directly outside the walls to the north, which is originally was a tent city during the kingdom of Drazig. However, it's been built up recently due to certain benefactors, and a lot of the housing there is significantly nicer than it was before the Chroma Conclave attack. You then kind of have the farms that continue to spread out throughout, feeding much of Emon. So that's kind of the general layout of the city. None of that is particularly a secret. There's a couple of places you guys might frequent or be more interested in. If you would like a map, I am placing it in the...
A map, you say? Ooh.
Been a while.
I took notes, boyos.
And that's very much what you know of the city. So as I said, there are a number of places that Ascor would certainly be familiar with. Predominantly the Cloud District, which is where his family now live. The Central District would have been where his family originally lived. Some areas of Abdal's Promenade would be not unfamiliar to Ascor, certainly during his younger years, as well as the Erudite Quarter, which is he wouldn't necessarily have gone to the Alabaster Lyceum, but certainly that would have been where he spent his student days, as well as certainly some of the colleges there. You may well have visited the port. I'd say you probably didn't, and the Temple District. I'd say you probably didn't spend much time in kind of Outwall or the Southgate Farms or anywhere kind of around there. Probably limited yourself to the central and southern parts, and southeastern. The east part of Emon, the southeast, and the central parts. Ascor. Zug, on the other hand, you've been all over the shop.
He lived in a barracks in the military district.
Yeah.
Surely, Ascor, you must know somewhere we could teleport to, somewhere out of sight, or something, or we could just go in and all disguised like, illusioned, and sneak in by cover of magic.
We could teleport outside the walls. There's plenty of space there, which is hidden by trees. No one would know, and then just walk into the city.
That was an option I was considering. Of course, rural areas. Can't say that in an American accent. Rural areas. Rural areas. Well, of course, they're very low in terms of suspicion, but that's my assumption. I don't know them particularly well. It's not like I've been to these places of abject destitution.
You've never been outside the walls before? Surely that must be one place or something I don't know.
Of course. I've traveled
Maybe-
all over. I've taken skyships as far as your mind can imagine.
Just imagine, I mean, you must have studied at the Erudite Quarter. Just imagine just outside the walls there somewhere where you might have, I don't know, thrown up while drunk.
Yeah, well, one thing about that area is it's actually quite well patrolled. Think of the sons and daughters of the oligarchy roaming the streets, drunk on a Friday night, or whatever the equivalent of Friday is in this world.
But where
I
should
know,
we
but
go then?
there's always the odd place or another where you lot could hide. I
Right,
remember.
Ascor, you know it, so where should we go? Where can you get us to? That's close to Abdar's Promenade.
Look, I'm not saying that you know any of the dogging spots, but you surely know some of them. Like, I don't know, places where you could, do some drugs, whatever you guys do at college.
Well, look, that would be college, and then there are the hotels, and they weren't really brothels. They brought them, but that's a different story altogether. Like, it's not easy to think of a good place. Everywhere I know intimately to, well, guarantee your arrival, are places frequented by the high society, mostly.
Ah,
A few dive bars, but
this is going to be difficult, I think.
Sounds like there are probably going to be lots of good options. I mean, we're powerful people. We can illusion ourselves, or just outside the walls, surely. Invisibility. We can go invisible. I can make some of you invisible. If you're personas non grata, as they say.
Bonds, as long as we're not breaking any laws, okay? I think I've broken enough laws in
Is
our
being
time.
invisible against the law at the moment?
I mean, it depends what you're doing.
You're just going to be walking, aren't you?
Walking where? Are we going to be trespassing? Trespassing is a law.
Well, no, we're just going to walk into the city so you're not arrested. I suppose that's hiding something. Anybody, surely
That could
there's
maybe
a place.
count as trespassing.
It
I'm not
surely can't
100%
be
sure.
that hard just to teleport somewhere in a city where we can go to a shop place.
True.
I believe in you, Ascor.
Yep.
okay, there it is. Abdar's Promenade. And Abdar's Promenade was specifically known for what again, sorry?
It's like a large open air market. It's pretty much the
Yeah.
travel and trade center of Emon for places outside of it. Like, you'll find a lot of the more well-to-do tailors and everything that's kind of need more structure here, but this is basically the market, an ever-present market and festival.
Probably would have visited here at least once.
Abdar's Promenade. And in theory, we're trying to get to the Cloud District, aren't we? So
You're trying to get to Abdal's Promenade because that's where the shop is.
Yeah, we're going to Abdal's.
Right, I
Not
see.
to Cloud yet. We'll sneak into Cloud later.
when the time is right, boy, we shall sneak in. Okay, so there's the Outwall. What's that place to the east of the Outwall? I swear I knew it once.
This is the east of the Outwall.
That's the farms, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, no, that's west. I can't
No,
read.
you've got so the east of the Outwall. The Outwall's at the very north, so it's like below that you've got the cemetery and the temple district.
Just
There's
like
a military district.
the equivalent of suburbs. Not really.
Or like a park or something, or a back alley that you know, or a...
Well, this is what I mean. I
At
mean,
least
there
too
must be.
high risk. We could land in a pile of piss amongst several, if not 5 pissers. I've been one of 6 before.
I mean, if they're drunk, then they probably won't remember. Or alternatively, we will scare the shit out of them and they'll just run away.
Why don't we
They'll
just
seen us.
we disguise ourselves, we teleport, and then we get out of sight as soon as we
Right.
can.
Yeah,
Right.
seems like a plan.
Let's just do it.
Seems fine. I don't think we need to overthink this, right? As long as we just get to the shop, it'll all be good.
Yeah.
All right, but we're counting on my knowledge of a particular place. Now, I don't necessarily have to know where that place is. Most of the places I know are grand halls, very fine restaurants, places like this. Other options are... Okay. You know, I can think of a place outside of the walls. I know it's outside of the walls because of the kind of clientele we had there, but I don't know whether it's north, south, east, outside.
I mean, it doesn't take that long to travel across the city.
Right.
I mean, it
that's
takes
right.
quite a while, but you know, you can get anywhere in an hour.
Sure.
Can't wait.
Okay.
Sightseeing.
Okay.
It's really weird in Emon,
Okay,
like,
well-
even if you're really traveling somewhere kind of close, somehow, regardless of whether you take the bus or the tram, it always just takes an hour.
Yeah,
It's weird.
it's weird that.
Kind of crazy. We just teleported everywhere in AR.
Yeah.
Just everywhere.
Except if you live in the south, the transport is terrible.
Oh, because you have to cross the river to the north, of course, yeah.
That's right. None of the canal lines really go far south. You just have the Northern Canal and the Victory Canal, and that's it.
Wait, but did you hear that there's a new bus, there's like a boat service that you can take down the canal? They've just done it recently.
Barbarism.
Oh, we can't just fly and teleport, alright? You know what? I don't even know if you're being serious or if you're just making this up.
I lived in a flying city where most of us lived in pocket dimensions.
Yes, but none of us saw it, so you could be lying.
I could. Yeah.
Pocket dimensions. Now, the capitalist inside me thinks that's genius, you know? Unlimited space, but you can regulate it, you can control it, you can charge whatever you want, but at the same time, you're paying exuberant prices just to live in a box.
We didn't charge for living, everybody lived just because they had the right to.
That's
And now
nice.
you really lost me.
Let's get to Emon before you get lost further.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
go.
Okay, DM. Askell remembers a bar. He knows it's most likely eastward, outside the wall. Probably went there on some kind of field trip or something, affiliated with whatever nebulous history degree he studied. PPE probably.
Before we teleport anywhere, can I just like Zug just kind of like as we're walking towards the thing, he kind of like stops spawns for a second. He goes, "We haven't known each other for that long, like you know, a couple of weeks at most. Do you think I'm fat?"
No.
No.
Zog, I don't think it matters what I think about how you look. I think what matters
I
is
know,
how you feel
I-
about how you look.
I know, I get that, but like you know, do I look like I've, you know?
I won't answer
look
it because it
fat.
doesn't matter. But if you're looking for affirmation outside of yourself, and that's a sign that points to something, you don't need it, Zug. You're perfect as you are.
Oh. So, if we, like, you did that breakfast thing again, that would be okay?
Of course.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't actually eat anything at dinner. I was not hungry at the time, but
Look,
I
if you
might
want
be
to
later.
talk about your body image, then we can do that as well. Gosh, you guys just keep coming up with things that just really concern me.
That's what
Ah.
2 years of eating only mayo does to a guy, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's important to me, Zug, that you do what makes you happy. All right?
I know, but I
It's
don't.
a
I don't
hard knock life.
For us.
I don't want people to like. I wouldn't want to not fit in my armor, and I wouldn't.
And we'll just get you
Want to
bigger
look like-
armor. Not a problem.
No. I mean, I've got to be. I've got to be able to fight people. I can't be. I can't be getting unhealthy.
You're not unhealthy at all.
Oh,
What a
thank you.
crazy set of questions. Wow. You
Oh.
guys.
You're right.
Just-
It is crazy, isn't it?
Sadness. No, I'm not trying to say you're being crazy. It just makes me sad that you think this about yourself.
I think what? Wait, am I fat?
No, that you're anything less than wonderful. 'Cause you are. Now, let's get going. Let's get home. Let's clear your name.
Oh, okay.
And we'll focus on some of that happiness and find out what that means to you. And if that's
Thank you.
fighting and being in perfect shape, then let's figure out a way to do that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
That monobrow, however.
Yikes. So, obviously, Sai has had to drop, but that's fine. We'll keep going. We'll probably, if everybody's okay, playing till 11. Does that make sense?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Fine
Yes,
going?
yes, it
Okay,
does.
good.
Although I
Give
will
me
need
that
1 moment.
extension.
All right. So,
DM to. Sorry, yeah. Do you want me to?
no, I was just going to say, I'm basically going to fast forward to you teleporting, so if you wanted to roll, but if there's anything you wanted to do first.
Yes, I was just going to kind of describe the kind of situation. So he knows a place well. It's a very vivid memory. He remembers the room, the smell, everything. Perhaps he was on some sood, or as they call it, snood, where he's from. But it was a bar outside the walls in the east on a field trip. He doesn't know where it was particularly. It could have been the most rural place. But it's out there. He remembers the space like it was yesterday. He just doesn't know where on the map that would necessarily be.
Okay,
And that's where he's thinking to go.
that's fine. I will make a judgment about very familiar or seen casually, depending on. Let's just
Yeah.
see if you
That
would
sounds
like
fair.
to make a roll. So all of you go to bed. You kind of say your final goodbye to Romans in the morning. Thank Kildra and Mira for their time. Barnes, you make sure all the preparations are in place. You plan your treatment plan. Maybe share it with Essek and Roman a little bit, or at least some of what you're intending. Have your shopping list. Otherwise,
Speaking of shopping lists, we've not been privy to potions for quite some time,
you've
patience
actually
fella.
access.
Come on.
That's true. We ain't got any potions for. We ain't had any potions for 6 bleeding days.
Looks like healing's back on the menu, boys.
They're vials. They don't need those.
Could you, Ascot, as you all get ready, link hands, say goodbye to Romans, make a D100 roll for me?
And don't fuck it up.
Don't
Oh,
fuck
well,
it up.
don't know about
The
that.
campaign
Well,
just goes wrong. You roll 1, campaign goes differently.
Yeah, it's true. And we're in the
We
ocean.
come back in time.
Back in the windy place.
No.
Not the windy world.
Is anybody able to cue the Super Mario theme when Mario gets the star and it goes? I feel that's appropriate for now. No, all right, cool. Let's roll the D100.
Is this on Roll20 you're doing it?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Eins,
End up in
zwei, drei, roll. 39.
39.
69's younger brother.
Okay.
Gosh.
39. So,
Long rest,
I will-
everybody.
I will say that you are not very familiar with this place. You have seen it casually, so you drop down. Like as all of you feel the world swirling around you. Everything kind of you feel yourself twisted, pulled as space time constricts around you. As almost kind of wind get knocked out of you, all bam, land down, and you're kind of like in a kind of well lit room. You can hear the sound of kind of clinking of glasses and laughter and merriment from down below. Kind of on the wooden floor, you look around at the city. Off in the window, you can make out what appears to be a walled city in the distance. You're quite far from it, and you aren't sure whereabouts you've landed, kind of from which direction you look. Those of you keener of eye, you're far to the south of what might be Emon. This was not where you intended, Ascor, as you kind of take your there, but it is at least near to the city. You don't know where you are though. Like Ascor very quickly realizes this isn't the room he originally intended. But you can see Emon out the window.
No, I know
Well,
this
like,
room.
fuck.
This was not the one. This
Well-
was not the room I had planned.
Is that
Oh,
the
there's only
city?
bad memories in this room here.
Where are we?
Is that it out there in the distance?
We're in the worst
Oh.
part of any city. The
That's Emon.
south.
What's wrong with this out? What goes on?
There's a bit more crime. than that.
Gentrification. Sorry,
Uh,
I couldn't resist.
so Athor knows this is predominantly the farming district.
Well, it's honestly maybe it's for the best, but there's nothing here. Okay?
Unless you like
Even
rain.
the food we eat doesn't come from here. It comes from further away and closer, but not from here.
Speak for yourself. I've had plenty of grits from here.
Right, well, then we just... Are we walking? Do we need to disguise Yazog? We do, don't we?
Oh yes, and he pulls out his hat of disguise, which looks like a big wizard hat, and he puts it on, and then you see his vision is kind of like a entire visage fades into what looks like the most generic looking human just adventurer you've ever seen. Just like standard looking.
So, like, what's his face from The Hobbit who plays Bilbo?
Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
No, he's not a hobbit. Like, just
You
looks
know what I'm
like,
saying?
I don't-
Looks just
looks a
looks
bit
like
like
him.
I don't know, like one of
Martin Freeman.
not even like Faramir. Yeah, not even like Faramir. He looks like, you know.
Martin Freeman, but
Hey, look-
Sherlock Holmes without the curly
Yeah,
Okay,
kind of,
generic
yeah,
guy.
exactly.
Six,
Just looks
six,
really
six, six,
generic. Like Zug would have clearly have seen this individual. Like he just didn't look like anything. Now, what you don't know is he's actually copied himself to be someone that he'd stopped at some point going into the city. So this is actually a person that exists, but like he
A
doesn't know who he is.
human male.
Just a human male, human white male.
Ah, yes, I'm playing the subclass. uh, um,
So,
Ascor 2 brings out his wizarding hat. It's a different one. It's more like one of those kind of Dumbledore sort of roundy, sort of short, stubby ones. And he does a little zhuzh, and he just looks like someone perhaps who would drive a caravan or something like that. But perhaps it's a little bit too stereotypical. It's just like, has an idea of what these people look like. These people, what they look like. But in terms of meeting or having any in-depth, it's probably not as convincing as Zugs.
well, lead the way, I guess. It's a long walk on the country roads with our own 2 feet.
That's
not
that
that
long. That's not that long. We'll be there by sundown.
Walking places, wow.
Okay, are you guys walking stealthily, or are you just kind of walking and hoping nobody looks at you?
Well, we've got the bad guys disguised, yeah?
Yeah, so you're just
Yeah.
walking?
Yeah, we're just walking as a
Well, we're
group.
just walking
Yeah.
through the farm roads up to the city gate, yeah?
Cool.
We are, yeah. DM, I'm
two-
just going to message you quickly, sorry.
Yeah, could 2 disguised people make a performance check for me?
Hayden won't put a disguise on, but he will pull his hood up.
Can I roll it with disadvantage because I feel like that's more relevant.
Yep.
Cool. In that case, it was a 9.
All right, DMO sent you what I sent you. Make of that what you will. Do with that what you will.
Okay.
And I need to roll a performance check. Was it now?
Yes.
Performance check was it now? All right then.
Was.
I got some pluses to that. Let's see what
Does Zug-
happens.
does Zug's,
Hey,
like,
that's
The
healthy.
thing that he's copied is a
19.
guy who's in like chainmail and his chainmail, just generic guy. He's got like a sword on his hip and everything. But obviously Zug in reality is wearing like some really pretty heavy plate. So like when he walks, it just kind of makes a clinking sound that just doesn't quite match what he's wearing by any means.
Yeah, it's like a solid metal clink rather than like a little rattle.
Yeah, yeah.
19's pretty good. Ascor's features look a little too. It's odd. It's slightly boyish. It doesn't really fit the body. And the features are all a bit not real, if that makes sense. It doesn't quite look like a person, but Ascor carries himself and those things. And as you guys are walking through, you see multiple kind of pumpkins and gourds and like multiple like quite large root veg kind of popping out from these farms. And the people here are pretty transfixed on their work. And you guys don't really encounter any don't really encounter anything. Ascor, those of you now realize, is wearing quite a large blue hat and blue outfit and like chewing wheat. And it's almost a caricature, but Ascor kind of carries himself with such confidence that it almost works. Like you look at it, you're like, you want to believe this is how people actually are, but those of you kind of all know see through it, but it definitely gets the occasional second glance. And as you approach the city gates, there's like two guards who are kind of lazily kind of sitting by side. You can see they're playing games, and they give each of you a
Which
look.
gate are we walking into? By the way?
This is kind of the southern gate.
Okay.
Yeah, so the ones that start to all the Southgate farms, and you're going to walk around kind of Abdal's promenade through the area like water. They don't even give you a second glance. They are so like transfixed in their game. They kind of look up, maybe give like a little bit of an odd look to you guys carry weapons, but they seemingly this side of thing don't really give a shit. Yes.
Zug just kind of waves at them and goes, "We've never met before."
So you would have done. You would recognize these two.
Yeah, of course. But you just
so
we don't
one of
know
the-
each other.
So one of them is a large, bald, well-built human, and you would recognize him as Captain Carrot.
Captain Carrot.
Captain Carrot. Captain Carrot.
Captain Birdseye.
Is his friend the stick?
Nope.
Carrot the stick.
None of you have any culture if you don't recognize this reference. I actually have to defriend all of you. And please Twitch, I get it. And the other one is a small. You don't really know what he is. Human would be too generous a term. Short, long nose, like pretty stumpy, like lots of like warts and scars. Doesn't seem to have bathed in a while. Who you know will be to be Colonel Knobs. They kind of give you the like a look. Captain Carrot kind of stands up, like kind of looms over you a little bit, and is like, "We've never met."
Oh, hello. My name is Jackson.
Anything to declare, Jackson?
No, we're just travelers new to the city, looking for work. It's
Right.
chaos out there.
Well, try not to introduce yourself to everybody you see, Jackson.
Yes. Sorry. It's a cultural thing from where I come from.
Where
Far
is
away
that?
from here. The Silvercut Crossroads.
I'm sorry to hear about the werewolf attack.
Yeah, it's dreadful. It's why I'm here.
Yes, many refugees have come to the city. Do you need any directing to any assistance, supplies? You seem quite well armed. Did you not stay and fight?
Oh, we did, but we were driven out. It was too many.
The city's been
werewolves.
taken over.
No, we were on the fringe. We've been sent to get Supplies.
You can make an entire deception check for this.
Where's deception? Where can I find it? Oh, there it is. Here you
DM, is there an opportunity
go. Can I use a
for
lucky
somebody?
dice?
Yep.
Right. Okay, it was a 13.
13. It kind of
Yeah.
gives you an odd look. Kind of, you know, it's like Colonel Nobbs has come over and gone kind of like he's gone to almost over, got to stand right underneath Ascor, kind of looking up at him. He's about 4 foot. And like flew over and was like, I think I recognise you.
And Ascor, looking to be an old man with a white beard, dressed in a green cloak with slightly
It's changed
hunched
since you
over,
arrived.
with a yeah, sorry, this is the retcon. Dressed, holding a wooden stick and a pipe in his mouth. Perhaps Clued might have recognised.
Is this Geldor?
So for people who don't know, the character I played in a different campaign with some of these great fellows and fellowettes and fellowies here, was a character called Woodsman Geldor, who is the backstory of a, what do you call it, folk hero, I think it is a backstory you have in D&D. And he was a kind of, people had like rumors about him, and I guess what I just sent to Jamie was like, it'd be great if there was a kind of story in this world about a Woodsman Geldor, about this character who was an old elf who lived at the bottom of a grove, and people told stories about him that he would speak to animals, and or he was the finest craftsman, but he'd keep to himself, and a simple man, but tricky man no one truly trusted, although he seemed very, very nice. Ascor, in all of his lack of imagination and genuine contact with the rural agrarian world, has just gone for this fairy tale character, which he's seen an illustration of. Unbeknownst to him, subconscious, of course, and it's Woodsman Geldor. And Ascor tries to, in response to this probe, says, "No. Don't think so. I'm from out of town, only transporting the goods in and out of the place that need to be transporting."
I'll notice for this. I recognise you.
What's
your name?
Take at his accent and kind of mutters "Wow" under his breath.
What's your name?
My name is Axeman Ithildor.
Or a brand name for an axeman.
Oh, well, you should see me work with an axe when I get the right swing in my hand.
Alright. He takes out his little hand axe. Show me.
I don't ask him about it too much. He'll be here all day. Jackson, what did you just say, Ithildor?
Yeah.
Ithildor.
It's you, little.
Pass me into the fire.
Throw the bullshit natural one into the fire.
Well, at the risk of taking up these gentlemen's time on this fine day, maybe we should, hurry into the city and find some rest after our weary travels fleeing from the werewolves.
Yes, I'm exhausted.
Hey, by the way, those of you with the high passive perception will notice that while this is taking on the game of Dragon Chess they were playing, you see Colonel Nobbs takes one of Captain Carrot's pieces off the board. No one is paying attention. That's just funny.
Nice.
While he's looking at you holding out his hand axe, he does this while all the attention seems to be on the axe.
And what Ascor will probably do at that point is he's actually not really looking anyone in the eye too much, as if he's kind of a bit like his eyesight's a bit gone. He's a bit low vision. And with that, I'm just gonna cast Minor Illusion, Subtle Spell, or is it Prestidigitation? Which one's got no material? Whatever, one of the two. And create just a sound of like a really, really unfair fart come from the man playing chess over there swiping the board. It's just, how dare you? It's not even like we're outside. It's like, that is offensive to the world, to nature, to gods, to mortals. That's just, how could you? One of those ones, you know? You know, guys?
Okay. I just love it. The character kind of looks at Nobs, like, oh, not again, Nobs.
Well,
And with that, they
looks
kind of like
you.
look you up and down.
No, we better
Whatever.
vacate the area.
That was dangerous, that one. Yeah, we
Oh,
better.
yeah.
We escaped werewolves. We can't be having that finish us off.
And you see Carrot kind of sit back down and look like, thought I had my move, but missing whatever, and seems to go back and not like. You all seem to have not been realized that you were part of Nob's distraction to get ahead in chess rather than actually under investigation. And as you enter the city proper, the sounds and smells of Emon hit you from particularly the side, be that, you know, the spices perhaps are roaming over from the promenade, the vague smell of smoke and cinder that seems to have been permeated the city ever since Thordak's invasion, the hustle and bustle of one of the most populous towns in the east. And yeah, I think, you know, given where we are, given I'd like to do Lauren's new character justice, and given that Sai is unfortunately missing, it makes sense to hear as you guys make your way to Abdal's Promenade, relatively unmolested in a city of this size, and come to where Aku is directing you, which is where we will pick it up next session, which won't be on the 1st. We should probably sort that out because I won't be here on the 1st. Do we want to do something like the 28th instead?
We could roleplay without you, Jamie.
You absolutely could roleplay without me if you wanted to do kind of meeting of Lauren's new character.
I'm
and
joking.
sorting that. Well, you could do, like, next session if you want to meet Lauren's character, do that introduction without me.
I'm just.
Do you guys want to play on the... Are you available?
What-
So do you want to play on the
figure it
20th?
out.
Wait, the 28th. Oh yeah, we could do Monday. I'm down for Monday.
Yeah, I can do Monday. I don't mind.
Let's discuss this
No,
offline.
I have a political, a real political engagement, I'm afraid.
Oh,
Oh,
exciting.
okay. Well, we'll work it out offline. But anyway, everybody,
Let's
thank
circle
you.
back and realign.
Everyone, thank you for watching. Sorry we didn't quite get there in the end, but we will. But goodbye to Roman.
Goodbye, Roman. You shall be
and
missed.
For now, at least, you guys actually got to the city you've intended to go to for almost 2.5 years. I'm
Yay.
Yo, we made it.
Doesn't feel real.
No.
Back to the city of Askor's family, Zug's friends, perhaps, Hayden's accomplices. Anyway,
Friends,
That's
accomplices,
everybody.
family.
Exciting
I think we've got the art
Which
giveaway
one
to
are
do.
you?
We do.
Yeah.
Art giveaway time.
So, thank you everyone for taking part in the art giveaway. All of your shares on social media really helped us reach a couple of new people. So thank you everyone for joining. And we are about to pick the winner. I believe Clued, I've given that responsibility to you. So if we can get a drum roll, Clued will announce the winner of the art giveaway is...
We're running the maths, we're doing the algorithms, our super advanced AI software. Now we just picked a winner. The winner is Chrominus.
Oh! Hooray!
This is a tiefling divination wizard named
Ooh.
Alistair. Alistair is beleaguered and caffeine dependent, and I'm excited to draw more tieflings.
Caffeine dependent.
Favorite.
Oh my god, I need to draw a coffee cup with this character.
I think they're in the chat, but yes, yeah,
Yay.
yeah, you are. Hey.
Congratulations!
Congratulations,
Hey.
we make you pictures, so we'll be in touch and draw you things. So yeah.
Check your Twitter DMs. We will message you to get more details of what your character looks like. And if you have any existing artwork or references, we will get them off of you and draw your character. So yeah, thank you everyone for taking part. Much appreciated.
Thank
you,
you,
everybody.
guys.
Last thing, for anyone who is in the chat who isn't part of our Discord, please do check out our Discord channel. We will be announcing when our next session is going to be once we figure out what's happening with Jamie's holiday next week. So all of our information's in there. It's also a really friendly community full of other D&D players and gamers, people who are looking for their own D&D groups or just want to talk about their characters and stories, or just share memes and pet pictures. It's mostly pet photos, to be perfectly honest. Lots of cute cats and dogs in our server, so go check it out. The link is in the chat, and hope to invite you along. So yeah, that's it.
Yes, thank you guys. It was fun.
Cool.
Congrats, Trovianist, and see you guys soon.
Cool.
Bye.
Thanks everyone. See you next time. Bye.
Oh, outro, bam.
Bow.